We'll run it through.
The probate court is to make sure the will is valid and follows the proper structure, and then to distribute the assets. But in all honesty, the purpose to probate court is to preserve your assets for the benefit of your creditors, because they don't want people to die and owe the hospital, owe all these people money, and then give stuff to their children and not pay these debts off. Mm-hmm. So it is opening up, for example, the estate of Amber Saunders. And if once that death certificate issues, my family or whoever is going to start getting letters that says, "Oh, my condolences for your loss. Who's going to pay this bill?"
Right.
And so they're waiting to see if someone opens an estate. They want you to notify them, and there's ways for them to be able to see whether or not, and then they're going to file a claim. And so before the will can even work and give something to your children or whomever else, all those creditors have to be paid first.
Yeah.
Taxes have to be paid for whatever income you made that year. All of that is to pay off all of that debt. And then whatever's left over goes according to your will.
Yeah.
And so there are ways to get around that. So when people just want to have a will, or they think, TV does a disservice because they'll say, "Oh, we're going to do a reading of the will." It's like, that don't matter, because it's still got to go to court and go through the process. So what you're reading it for? You're not going to get anything until it goes through probate.
Right.
And now you could, if they were doing a reading of the trust maybe or something like that, like a trust will allow you, a revocable living trust will allow you to skip all of that. Mm-hmm. So your trust would be the beneficiary of your bank accounts or what.
So that's the key, right? Is that your revocable trust, revocable, irrevocable, right? She's not going to explain revocable versus irrevocable trust. Revocable trust, and I'm not an expert, this is just basic common sense knowledge. You can look it up, difference between irrevocable and revocable trust. Revocable, irrevocable. To revoke something is to change it or rescind it, get rid of it, however it may be. A revocable trust is usually falling under a living trust. So at any point in time, the grantor and who is also the grantor trustee of that living trust can make amendments, change, take away whatever they see fit while they're living. Once they pass, it automatically goes into irrevocable. So revocable over time, you might have one bank account when you start the trust. Then you might open up another bank account. You might have one house. Then you might buy another house. You can always change it and add to your Schedule A, your assets. You know what I'm saying? That is what is considered to be, if you guys ever heard it, funding the trust, right? Funding the trust is your Schedule A and your Schedule B. Schedule A is assets, like you say, your bank accounts, that's Schedule B, right? That's usually dealing with banking, financials, things like that. Assets, on the other hand, is like automobiles, cars, memorabilia, books, jewelry, clothes. That is considered to be an asset because it's not necessarily liquid. You see what I'm saying? So when you have these things, you got to know how to put those things together. But the one thing that is perfect with what she's saying is that you make your trustee, you make your trust the beneficiary of these accounts. How do you do that? Right? Now, that's a whole nother story. How you make that is through your schedules. The trustee now is in control of those as assets, right? It's no longer under your name. So having that last will and testament, right, under that individual's name, then those debts are attached to it. Now, the one thing that, like I've been talking about, these foreclosures and under these other circumstances in the past, they run a lot of gamuts on you based on the fact that you don't know, right? And they assume the fact, now when I say you, I'm talking about us, our people the one to get hit the most, because we don't have our things together. And then, our people, some people, family members, they get a little scandalous. Next thing you know, it's an issue. But once you got it up under that trust now is the beneficiary and the owner. So everything runs to that. So in your trust as well, Also, you have your beneficiaries in the trust. Your last will and testament is your last will and testament with everything that goes to who you want it to go to. So just know that, just a little simple thing right there. Nice and simple, quick, easy. We're not going to go too deep in it, but yeah.
Helping people do this, because this can really change. If things go the way they are, we're not going to have, I mean, our community's not going to have a lot of money. And what they said, 2050, it'll be like zero or
like
something.
zero, right?
So we have to like do something. So I would rather
see what she says. She says our people are not going to have a lot of money. You see what I'm saying? This is where, you know, when they're talking, this is where they get the whole game messed up. It's twisted. Because what is money? See, we're talking about assets here. Talking about assets, liquid or non-liquid. They're talking about money. If we're going off the Constitution, then money is already been defined. But if you're in probate, you're talking about real property, real estate. That can have a value to it, right? That can have a value to it. And the way you have your value is based on what is considered to be the fair market value. Or if you do an itemized thing, it's about how much work, sweat, and everything that you put into the land, the house, the car. You got every receipt, you know how much you paid. That is the value that you put on it. Not just what the fair market value is based on comps in the community, how much money you put in it, how much you pay in that mortgage, how much of that debt you paid, how much property taxes you paid, how much you paid for water and sewage, utilities, how much you paid to keep the house up, how much you pay for furniture to do all the different things, how much you paid to keep the thing, food in the house, your children and everything. That's a lot of money. Now that's money. You see? But what they do is they put a fair market, or what you call a statutory value, on it, and it plays right into the court's hands, right into that jurisdiction. But in the beginning, she said that it's about you got to pay the creditors. That sounds like bankruptcy to me. So this is the trick, or the confusion, I would say, that these courts play. Like, they operate in Article 1, Article 2, Article 3. They're doing all these things at one time, whatever benefits them the most, based on whatever situation it might be. So this is where, not just what she's saying, she's giving you surface talk, which is good. This is like 101 probate stuff, or trust and all that stuff, just 101 stuff. Just basic, trust, probate for dummies type book. But there's more to the system than what she's letting on as. So don't just hang on to this information as if it's the end all be all.
Tell people like, hey, just update the beneficiaries, do this if you're not trying to do any, in-depth planning. But, if they need to just have a consultation, it's worth the money to just talk to somebody and figure out what you should do. Mm-hmm. And then you can plan for it. If you feel like it's too much, then okay, what can you do right now? Get a healthcare directive, power of attorney, and get a will. If you want to plan for a trust later, then plan for the trust later. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. But the alternative is for the state to decide what to do with your stuff, for your family to potentially be in conflict because.
So you see what she just said? She just said for a state to decide to do with your stuff. Where does the state have jurisdiction and control? Through you. is what you, we, I, whatever, give them. This is why I say that the different hats that they wear. Probate court deals with real estate, real assets. Nothing, this debt stuff comes in on an encumbrance. Just because I owe you something, that doesn't mean you have rights to title or right to levy or take. Let me pay you. And then you say, okay, well, I'll pay you. I will conditionally accept your offer. Now, what you need to do, because this was daddy or mommy's or both issues, I need the paperwork. Give me everything. I don't know nothing about what's going on. But at the beginning, I said, I don't mind paying. But I need this. I need 1, 2, 3. I need those. And we need to run it all the way from A to Z, from the beginning to the end. So that means you need to provide me everything. I need a full statement of account, 9210. Now, when I run these codes off, it's not for us to follow. It's for them to follow. They are Ray Donovan versus Rodriguez. Donovan versus Rodriguez. Right? All codes, ordinances, statutes are for employees and officers and government officials only, not for the people. The people are the children of God and are equal to God in a source that they create. Officials and corporations and all this stuff, they don't create nothing but debt and confusion. So I need that 9210, right? UCC 9-210. I need a full authenticated, self-authenticated, could be statement of account. Everything from A to Z. Number 2, what I need to do is I need to see all unaltered signatures, wet ink signatures from my daddy or my mommy, whoever has the debt. Number 3, I need to see your name on it. I need to see XYZ company's name on it. I need to see all assignments, all transfers. If your name is not on it, I need to see all wet ink signatures. I need to see my daddy or my mommy's signature signing off on it. Number 5, I need this as well. I need you to sign it under penalty of perjury. On top of that, I need to know that you follow all of the consumer laws and fair debt, real estate settlement protections, truth in lending, fair credit reporting, the Frank-Dodd Act, the Sherman Act, the Sherman Antitrust Act. I need to see all the things that you have done in regards to this, every single account, A to Z. And guess what? You got 60 days to do it. And then I will pay you. All right? And just for shits and giggles, I need a whole tax audit on this. I need to see all the taxes paid. I need to see any money that was owed to my father or my mother during this time. Anything that was withheld, all tax reports, everything. I need to see your EIN number. I need to see where you operating from. I need to see if you're in here in California domestically or you some foreign diverse corporation registered in another state or whatever. Is that too hard? I hope it isn't, because you're going to provide it or you get nothing. Thank you.
Because you didn't write down what was supposed to happen and you trusted.
And clip that.
And that your children not going to act a fool when you know they are.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, shout out grandpa. Like, we went to his funeral. I found I had another uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happens. And so it's like, you really going to leave you if you don't care about your family, just say that. Because essentially that's what you're saying. They could fend for themselves. I'm going to be gone. You don't think enough of them to make it easier. And also think about the fact that they're going to be grieving you. You're gone. Yeah. So you want them to have to handle your business and deal with your mess. And they can't even process the fact that we have this paranoia about Oh, I want to protect my assets from creditors. Who is coming to get you? Like,
Yeah.
and if you put things in there knowing someone's coming to get you, it can be undone.
Right. So she's saying, says, I want to slide it up in there because you're putting assets in something because you're running from creditors. Just like I said prior, how do you know they're creditors? Look up Title 15 USC 1601, 1602, 1681. Look up Article 5 of the United States Code. I mean, the Uniform Commercial Code. Look up Article 3, Article 9, Article 8. Look up these codes. Look up Article 4. Look up HJR 192. Look up the executive order that Roosevelt did. Look up the Coinage Act. Look up the Mint Act. Look up all these different things. Look up Article 1, Section 8, Section 10. See, he's talking about these people are creditors. Now, the one thing I found out in bankruptcy was the reason why they're creditors because we make them creditors. What do you mean by that, Coach? Well, you put them on the document when you filed bankruptcy. So that means, obviously, they are considered to be creditors. How about that? But why are we sitting here saying that this is a creditor? What makes them a creditor? What is the definition? You have to have the credit to provide in what fashion? It all boils down to what? A dollar amount. And in that dollar amount, did you ever provide full disclosure of you having these funds in your possession? On top of that, who is this loan originator? Who is this underwriter? Is it you or is it somebody else? Who are these investors? Clip that.
Like there's a each state there's a uniform, like I can't even
Hey, what's going on? None of your business? What's going on? What's going on, sisters? Just getting started.
remember the name of it now because I'm about to tell you. It's probably why I don't remember. But essentially, if you know of a creditor and things like that, and you're trying to hide stuff, they can undo the transfer, fraudulent transfer. Anyway, they can.
See, she's worthless. That's why I brought her up here. She's worthless. She's talking about a fraudulent transfer. What do you mean it's a fraudulent transfer? This is what I'm saying. There's two different angles here. There's two avenues you're going down here. Secured, unsecured. When I purchased that contract, that application, that retail installment contract, credit consumer installment contract, and I filled it out as an applicant, I just now issued a letter of credit. They then accepted that letter of credit. And when that thing was transferred over to me, it was paid and escrow was closed. That is a transfer. Payment and consideration. The transfer. I get the thing. It's done. Everything else is what you consider to be a repurchase agreement under a consolidated debt obligation. Also, what it is a pooling and service agreement, also a real estate investment trust, a security instrument, and you're paying nothing but interest-only payments. On the private side, that is now also considered to be a loan modification or a refinance, where now you got the dollar amount, and then that same dollar amount is over here, but the dollar amount's already been transferred. It's already been paid. But then they come back around the corner and say, hey, now this $50,000, we're saying that we loaned you the money and you agreed. We extended the credit and you agreed. You never asked any questions. So now you got another contract coming here. That's the repurchase agreement. Peter Paul. Switch hands. 3-card money. You see?
consider it that. So it just depends on the circumstance under which you're transferring it, but it's going to pay higher taxes, pays the highest tax rate.
Look at her. Her head's just flying all over the place. Look, she's just looking all up into the sky. And she's like, yeah, higher tax rate and all this and all that. It's fear mongering. She's talking if she knows. Let me break this down to you. I'm good at this. You know what nobody can do to me? Insult my intelligence. And you can't fear monger me. This is what you're not going to do. So on my watch, I'm giving this to you. So y'all listen closely. Her body language, her head's moving around. She's dropping her head. She's like, oh, you got to pay high taxes. Oh, they credit, fraudulent conveyance, all this type of stuff. She's using these big ass words that nobody understands. She's talking to her people, and then her people going to come to her like a damsel in distress or a man with his head cut off, like, I don't even know how to deal with this. Go on, take care of it, baby. How much it's going to cost? So, yeah, she look cute and all. So she'll be like, well, it ain't going to cost you that much. We just $25,000. To get these things set up, it's going to cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000, depending on what you want to do. That's how much it's going to cost you. Now, all that paying taxes, you got to pay a high tax and this, that, and the other. Isn't paying taxes voluntary? Now, under the circumstances, right, there's nothing she is saying that is owed to the mother or father in this whole thing. The mother and father then worked by the sweat of their brow and raised their family, did everything that they need to do, and they ain't got nothing in return. But the assets that they worked hard for, that they want to transfer over to their next generation. But all of a sudden, somebody got their hand in the pot. And then you got somebody like this that's only talking their talking points. You got to pay taxes. There's the creditors out there. You're going to have to pay this. You're going to have to pay that. I mean, come on. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel? Or I'm just going to be out more money. I didn't work all this, and now the state's going to take it. That's called what? Eminent domain.
On any gain.
Clip that.
Things like that. Depending on the circumstance, depending on how much money you have, depending on what your profession is, you might need it. But in general, most of us do not. So when people are calling my office saying they need a Rockefeller trust, I'm like, do you have Rockefeller money?
I need a Rockefeller trust. When Rockefeller did his shit, did he have Rockefeller money? See, a lot of people don't understand what happened back in those days. They set up these trusts and these foundations, these shell corporations, because they was hit with the Sherman Act, the Sherman Antitrust Act monopolization. Cornering the market, moving stuff around, and not paying taxes. Income is profit being made by corporations off a gain off a product. You have to pay taxes on that. That's what you pay taxes. That's what tariffs is about. Foreign corporations coming into the United States on American soil, selling to the people. And you got to be paid. You got to pay taxes on that. That's why they so mad at Trump, because Trump said, hey, man, y'all coming over here and y'all sitting here charging prices high as eagle stuff. Yeah, we taxing that because we need our prices to go down. So if we tax you, then you're going to do one or two things. You're going to drop them prices or you're going to skedaddle. Don't worry about it. We'll set up our own shit and you're going to leave your business here. But nevertheless, a Rockefeller money thing is what? Anybody tell me? Do you know that you can get $1 million policy, like $50 a month, Do you know that you can get a $1 million policy for $100 a month? Do you know there's all different type of policies you can get? And you got your trust and get all that stuff set up. It ain't rocket science. It's not.
Or what? Like, it doesn't even make any sense for you to make it that complicated for your family. Yeah. Just make sure it doesn't go to probate court, and teach them how to continue what you're doing. But you don't it becomes irrevocable on your family anyway. So like once you die as the grantor, the person who creates it, nobody else can change the terms. Okay. So they are stuck the same way it would be if you created one for yourself then. So you really have the power to craft it the way you want to make them, or to help them. You know, if you teach them the right thing, they'll be able to preserve it and put more things in it.
All right. I don't know. I understand. Game to be sold, not to be told. I mean, but come on now. She could have added, there's some other things that, you know, you ain't got to tell it, but you can say there's some other things that you can actually do as well. I mean, it's not automatic. When you file bankruptcy, you go to probate, you can challenge the validity of the debt. You can request all documents. You can do that. See, but these people do the microwave stuff. This is what they all train to do. Snap, 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 hurry, 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 hurry. Nah, man, we're going to slow walk this. Yeah, I need everything. I don't mind paying. Remember, I have no problem paying at all. At all. But I need them documents, please. And hurry up, please. I need that. Yeah, you got 60 days. Take all the time you need. I need those documents. Yeah. Let's move on.
Because when you cook it, you kill it. When you cook it, you kill it. Bunch of parsley, 1 cucumber peeled, and an apple and a lemon. And watch what happens. Watch how you feel all day long. Parsley. Every vitamin known to man is right inside of there. 1 bunch of parsley, 1 cucumber peel, a couple of apples, sweeten it up a little bit, and a lemon. Juice that, and watch how much energy you have all day long. You'll be bouncing off the walls because you just put so many nutrients in your body, in your temple.
Hey, he ain't never lied.
Which is where God lives.
He ain't never lied. This is interesting.
Mad at Korea for stealing black culture. They're just going back to their roots that they know of. Asia in general. The oldest historical record of black people in Korea was 905 AD. Reference Yellow Over Black, History of Race in Korea by Jung Kim, 2014. Further observation will find all over the kingdom men as black as Africans are like the people of Asia Minor, Antonilla, Turkey. Don't let that go over your head because we're going to come back to Turkey in a second. Arnold Henry Savage, Landor, Korea, or Kosun, the land of morning calm. What's the land of morning calm? Was the Joseon dynasty in Korea, 1392 to 1910. Also known as the land of morning calm. It was full peace when Korea was Korea. Now let's look at some of the people from 1920. If you go back not too far ago, it's only 2026. You cannot find no dark Korean. But 1920s Korea looked like this, looked a lot like this, and even more like this. But what do you see today? A whitewashed Korea. Why? Jeju-do Island, Korea. They look a lot Africanish to me. But we know about the Shang dynasty in China, or do we not? That ruled for 600 years? Or what about the ethnic groups of the Philippines? Y'all don't know about them. How about Thailand's oldest ethnic group? That's the oldest people in Thailand are the dark-skinned ones. But they know Buddha had Bantu knots. They know that. You know what Bantu knots is? You take your dread and twist it all the way up into your fucking head. I can show you, but that shit hurt. Now it makes sense why North Korea tried to pay reparations for slaves. Now it makes sense why Russia tried to pay reparations for slaves. Now it makes sense why Libya tried to pay reparations for slaves. I keep forgetting y'all don't remember Negro land was Asia. But this should tell you this in Deuteronomy. Has a nation had rest? This tell you where all the slave ships went to and where they came from. That's where they came from. But what's the definition of American back then? Anybody with copper colored skin. Y'all see that penny on my fucking nose? Like, make it make sense, Goofy. His feet like the color of polished bread. Go look up the Yang Bang. I know y'all gonna think it's cap. Go look them up. The scholars, how I even know this? How do I even know Korean history? Think about that. If it's not black history. Use your brain.
That was interesting. All right, we leading up to my topic.
During Vietnam War, Martin Luther King died. I want to know, did that bring up a lot of racial issues?
I happen to live in an all-black hut. It was the first all-black hut in Vietnam. And there were 8 of us in the hut. And it was interesting that even before we knew that he had been killed, all of a sudden these Confederate flags started flying over a lot of the Quonset huts and some of the major facilities. And we kind of tried to figure out where our head was at. Like, what do we do now? You know, do we take these folks on? Because we went to a couple of the huts and asked them to take the flags down because we knew what it symbolized. They weren't up the day before. They were up that day. But I think it really hit us when over one of the warehouses, I mean, they had to be about 8 by 10 foot flag, Confederate flag, flying over the American flag. We went to the CEO of the base and said, look, if you don't get these flags down, there's going to be a problem, a very serious problem. Within 15 minutes, all the flags were down. Yes, there was some problems.
In the months that followed King's death, black militancy swept across the rear areas. Bloods like Randolph Dobie organized themselves, raised their fists in black power salutes, studied black history, wore black beads and berets, and even chose to live in all black hooches.
Well, they had all white hooches, and they did that primarily for commonality of interest. There was no assignment of hooches. Basically, the whites or any group of Marines could elect to stay in a certain hut. Then we went to the CO and asked if we could have our hut so that we could have a hut of common interests and goals and relationships. And the CO granted us that privilege.
Now, how did your fellow white Marines feel about this all-black hooch in their midst?
Well, at first, they didn't seem to have any problems, but later on, there were a couple of incidences of cross burnings, and they even tried to burn down the hut once.
What do you mean cross burnings? Did you see a cross burned in Vietnam?
Yeah.
Where?
In front of my hut.
Documentary that I saw on NBC called Same Blood, Same Mud, with Frank McGee, I believe. The footage, the combat footage was tremendously, I hate to use the word exciting, we're talking of death now.
Yes.
Let's say that it was stunning, that it was horrendous, that it moved you, it created a reaction. But Frank McGee disturbed me because he would interview the white soldier and he would say, what do you think of your Negro colleague? And the white soldier would look at him and say, what do you mean, what do I think of him? He's a GI, he's on my right, he covers me on the attack, he does this. And McGee would cluck and say, my gosh, listen to that. Yeah, and I kept thinking, why are you amazed, Mr. McGee? Yeah. In the province of combat, when you stake your life,
how could it be any other way?
How could it be any other way? Yeah. And more to the point would have been, what happens to that Negro soldier, having lived through this incredibly strange, colorless world, say, for a period of a horrendous 12 or 13 months, and he goes back to the state of California, and under the tutelage of our governor there, tries to exist in a society in which there is a public law on record which denies him proper housing by virtue of the color of his skin. How does he feel then? Let's take our camera into that chap's living room.
All right, now, see, the R&R, right? Remember, the R&R is repair and restore, right? Reparations, restoration. Now, this is California now. and everybody started following suit. Where this guy said, now you can tell that this is black and white, so you know this is in the 60s. So he said, in California, there is a public law. There's a public law that stops so-called black people, American Indians, as we know them to be now, from getting housing. There's a public law. Remember, it's repair and restore, right? Slavery by another name, right? But all this stuff is being done by public law in California. They're actually putting in these laws somehow. You see what I'm saying? But nobody's talking about that. See, this is why it's opening up. This is why I opened up in California first, right? This is why I opened up California first. If you guys are taking notes, paying attention, this is why I opened up in California first. Like I mentioned about the Prop 187, even in the 60s, they had the public law that was dealing with, this was under the Fair Housing Act, 1968. The Fair Housing Act came in under the Indian Civil Rights Bill. Not only was it just the Indian civil rights in there in the Fair Housing Act, it also had the Ku Klux Klan Act. It also had the, I forgot the other, what the brother's name, but it also had the Indian Declaration of Rights. Indian Declaration of Rights as well in there. See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people don't understand California the way I know California. People praise the gang banging that was going on, but that gang banging was to protect the communities against these militias that was deputized. See what I'm saying? Nevertheless, let's listen to it again.
Back now, Bernie, to a very effective documentary that I saw on NBC called Same Blood, Same Mud, with Frank McGee, I believe. The footage, the combat footage was tremendously, I hate to use the word exciting. We're talking of death now. Yes. But let's say that it was stunning, that it was horrendous.
See, a lot of people like to say about this word blood, right? You hear anybody that the elders, they in their 70s now, that came out of Vietnam. That was the word they used. One blood, one mud. And you saw the other Vietnam thing, they talked to each other and they communicated. They said, what's up, blood? But people say, oh, that's gang banging. All right.
That it moved you. It created a reaction. But Frank McGee disturbed me because he would interview the white soldier and he would say, what do you think of your Negro colleague? And the white soldier would look at him and say, what do you mean, what do I think of him? He's a GI, he's on my right, he covers me on the attack, he does this. And McGee would cluck and say, my gosh, listen to that. Yeah, and I kept thinking, why are you amazed, Mr. McGee? Yeah. In the province of combat, when you stake your life,
how could it be any other?
How could it be any other way? Yeah. And more to the point would have been, what happens to that Negro soldier, having lived through this incredibly strange, colorless world, say, for a period of a horrendous 12 or 13 months, and he goes back to the state of California, and under the tutelage of our governor there, tries to exist in a society in which there is a public law on record which denies him proper housing by virtue of the color of his skin.
Repair and restore. It ain't a black thing. It's the color of his skin. People talk about, well, reparations and restoration should be based on genealogy. No, it's not about that. It's not about that. Let me put my my white voice on. Let me talk through my nose for a second. It's not about that. It's not. It is about the color of your skin and who you are. Do you have to prove that you come from an Indian tribe for reparations and restoration of what is due to you? Do you have to provide a land patent for that? Do you? Is it necessary? That is cherry and icing on the cake. The cake is the cake. What happened? I mentioned plenary doctrine, trust doctrine, doctrine of discovery, suspect classification. What else? All these things, all these changes that were done through legislative acts in order to subdue a people without them even knowing. Without them even knowing, excuse me. That these people was not aware or didn't read the fine print that was pretty much in like 2 font. That they were actually transferring rights and titles over to people through their silence. Also through a signature. But we're not talking about the 1800s. We're talking about 1925 going forward. The icing on the cake and the cherry and everything with all the fixings and the sprinkles and so on and so forth is everything pre-1925. Yeah. There's levels to it. There's levels to it. I played this guy yesterday. This guy is interesting. He really talks like he knows something. See what else he knows.
Say there's no money left for reparations. The Astor family is the perfect counterexample.
All right, I see that YouTube. All right, I see that link, isn't it? So I'll get to it.
They didn't just profit around slavery, they profited directly from it. And now they're being glorified on shows like this.
Now, this guy, if you guys missed it, he's talking about the Astor family again. The Astors. Check this out. Obviously, he's talking as if he's done his research about these Astors. And for some reason, he is focused on the Astors.
The Gilded Age. But HBO leaves out that Mrs. Caroline Astor, the queen of New York society in the Gilded Age, didn't just guard high society, she guarded wealth extracted from black bodies. Caroline was the granddaughter-in-law of John Jacob Astor, who built the earliest part of their fortune through the fur trade and scaled it by becoming one of the biggest northern financiers of the slave economy. The Astors, they issued mortgages to southern plantation owners, they used enslaved people as collateral, and they acquired enslaved people when planters defaulted. Just like the Lehman Brothers, the Browns, and other northern banking houses, New York City handled more slave-grown cotton than any port on earth except Liverpool, and the Astors pumped their money into the shipping, insurance, warehousing, and Manhattan real estate infrastructure that made that possible.
Now, this right here is a bombshell. What he's saying is a bombshell. This is what he's saying was taking place in the 1800s. This is what he's talking about. I think I'm going to play it all over again because I really haven't listened to this all the way through. I saw, oh, okay, I heard him myself. Familiar with that face. Boom, let me put it on there and let me be surprised about what I'm hearing. So he said that, right, to recap, and then I'll let it play all the way through uninterrupted. They was giving mortgages on cotton plantations. They were doing real estate transactions during a certain period of time. But where? He hasn't given the location yet. I mean, he said Manhattan and things like that, but he didn't necessarily say that unless I missed it. But he's saying this Astor family. Yeah.
William B. Astor Sr., the so-called landlord of New York, bought huge pieces of Manhattan using capital circulating through the slave.
Now, you remember Old Dirty Bastard, right, from the Wu-Tang Clan. Remember in his song, he said that his grandfather sold Manhattan to some people. Right? I'm paraphrasing. So here we go. Here we go.
Economy. Even the Astor Library, now called the New York Public Library, was seeded with money from a world where enslaved.
Now, the New York Public Library, anybody that's from New York or been in New York, been to that library was eventually the Astor's library. So everybody knows in libraries, it's got information, history, all different type of documents, printings.
Enslaved people functioned as financial assets. But here's the part people miss. The Astors, they weren't just rich, they were plugged directly into political power. Their descendants married into British aristocracy. Nancy Astor became the first woman to sit in the British Parliament. She entertained prime ministers while influencing policy. The Astors moved so seamlessly into British elite life that their modern heirs like William Waldorf Astor II and William Waldorf Astor III still sit in the House of Lords. They're still tied to inherited real estate and trust wealth. And in the U.S., generations of Astors socialized with presidents, the Roosevelts, the Coolidges, the Grants, the Van Burens, the Kennedys. Their homes in New York and Newport were presidential stomping grounds. Their philanthropy bought proximity to political power. Their money shapes influence on both sides of the Atlantic. For enslaved people and their descendants, the wealth extracted from their bodies was never returned, but for the Astors, it becomes generational stability and institutional power.
Yep, we're going to run it back. It's interesting. Is Astor an American name? I don't know. But the most important thing, though, is the function. Right, J-Dub, it's the function. All the moves he was making at that time. I want to get into the timeline and see where he was at and what was going on in the United States at this time. See what I'm saying? Because if it was during this time, then you're talking about people that were actually funding the union while the union got in debt and foreclosing on things. I don't know.
When people say there's no money left for reparations, the Astor family is the perfect counterexample. They didn't just profit around slavery, they profited directly from it. And now they're being glorified on shows like The Gilded Age. But HBO leaves out that Mrs. Caroline Astor, the Queen of New York society in The Gilded Age, didn't just guard high society, she guarded wealth extracted from Black bodies. Caroline was the granddaughter-in-law of John Jacob Astor, who built the earliest part of their fortune through the fur trade and scaled.
Okay. Fur trade. So this is the fur trade. I'm going to do a whole segment on this. I don't want to go deep into it right now, but I'll make sure I bookmark this.
It by becoming one of the biggest northern financiers of the slave economy. The Astors,
When?
they issued mortgages to southern plantation owners.
When? How? Yeah, when? Because if you're talking about they gave mortgages to southern sugar plantation owners, when? Where? Remember, there's still treaties going on here. There's still indigenous nations here, right? We just established yesterday that there's 500 nations. There's a book called 500 Nations. There were 500 nations on the North American continent, not South, Central, Canada. No, North America, 500 nations. All right, so what are we talking about here?
They used enslaved people as collateral, and they acquired enslaved people when planters defaulted, just like the Lehman Brothers, the Browns, and other northern banking houses. New York City handled more slave-grown cotton than any port on earth except Liverpool, and the Astors pumped.
So he's talking about New York. All he mentioned is New York. So New York. So New York, New York.
Their money into the shipping, insurance, warehousing, and Manhattan real estate infrastructure that made that possible. William B. Astor Sr., the so-called landlord of New York.
Now, we know Manhattan was ran by the Seneca or Shinnecock people. You had the Lenape people. You had the you had Wampanoag. You had Narragansett. You had a lot of different groups over there. So who was he?
New York bought huge pieces of Manhattan using capital circulating through the slave economy. Even the Astor Library, now called the New York Public Library, was seeded with money from a world where enslaved people functioned as financial assets. But
see, he keep talking about enslaved, 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 right? You haven't mentioned black people yet. So-called black people. You haven't mentioned Indians. You haven't mentioned nothing. Who he bought it from? Here, nothing. He's surfaced, he's given a roundabout talk, and he's saying there's not reparations involved in, there's no more reparations, so on and so forth. Well, that's true. There is no reparation for people that can't not get it.
Here's the part people miss. The Astors, they weren't just rich, they were plugged directly into political power. Their descendants married into British aristocracy. Nancy Astor became the first woman to sit in the British Parliament. She entertained prime ministers while influencing policy.
This is what I'm saying. First sister to sit in Parliament. And so what? It's still not saying nothing. Just good information, though. But he's not saying nothing.
The Astors moved so seamlessly into British elite life that their modern heirs like William Waldorf Astor II and William Waldorf Astor III still sit in the House of Lords. They're still tied to inherited real estate and trust wealth. And in the U.S., generations of Astors socialized with presidents, the Roosevelts, the Coolidges, the Grants, the Van Burens, the Kennedys. Their homes in New York and Newport were presidential stomping grounds. Their philanthropy bought proximity.
Now, if you look at that sister right there, that's a sister, a red bone. Look how she's built. Look at her hair. Look at it, you pause it. Yeah.
To political power. Their money shapes influence on both sides of the Atlantic. For enslaved people and their descendants, the wealth extracted from their bodies was never returned, but for the Astors, it becomes generational stability and institutional power.
Right. What's going on, nonetheless? All right, let's go to the next one. Let's check this out. Look closely. Listen closely.
An accident. It was a targeted hit on the indigenous Moorish nobility. Don't believe me? Go look up.
Now, here we go. Like, don't get trapped up into the Moorish nobility thing, so on and so forth. But you see, people can make it up and make their claims as it is. Now, he gets to talking about the Astors. Now, we know the Astors was part of the Titanic. Right? So.
Joseph Philippe Lemercier LaRoche, a black engineer from the LeConte political dynasty, traveling first class during the Titanic era. The original Jacob Astor is a...
You hear that? The original Jacob Astor.
Strauss and Guggenheim were originally all Moors, but of course they only show you the pale version. They bleached the history to hide the Moorish tenure of the land, but the bloodline is the Grail. Why'd they do it? Because these titans were against the establishment of the League of Nations and the plan of experts designed to seize world treasuries. Look up Paul Cupp, ship owner and global merchant, before the U.S. even knew what it was. Look up Madam C.J. Walker and Aurelia Walker, controlling millions, property, factories, and social power. Look up Robert Reed Church Sr., black millionaire of the South.
You think we were just slaves off boats? Houseway, I'm showing you the receipts they hid. Black aristocrats in the Titanic era. Families with land, gold, ships, and banks. We weren't begging, we were building empires. That's why the Titanic wasn't just a tragedy, it was a targeted hit. Connect the dots. The truth ain't lost, it's been buried, and I'm here to dig it up. They love to say Joseph LaRoche was the only black man on the Titanic, but that's only because they already whitewashed the rest. The original Astors, Guggenheims, Strausses, and LeConte bloodlines were Moors long before their portraits were corrected and their history rewritten. Once America and Europe adopted the bleaching of nobility, any elite family was painted over, literally and legally. So when the Titanic sank, they could safely call LaRoche the only one, because they hid the truth of the others. The whole narrative depends on Moors being erased from high society.
All right, so now a lot of these people that was on that boat, on that ship, or whatever it may be, I mean, the history's coming out that these people wasn't white, or what you would consider to be white today. So I thought that was interesting. I
want to live in Mount Vernon, New York, or New Rochelle, or New York City on East 67th Street, they can. And they too can live in Soul City.
The guiding light behind the project is Floyd McKissick.
In this new town, persons will be able to control their own destinies.
McKissick had the idea that it was now time to build.
We were going to send a message to the rest of the state and the rest of the country that yes, we are on the way.
Black people feel rejected. They feel like they've been pushed into a corner and feel that there is no hope, there's not a chance. It's a matter of hopelessness. It's frustration.
Soul City has a short but controversial history, criticized over the years by Senator Jesse Helms and others as mismanaged.
There are some folk who don't believe that a black man could do it or should be doing it.
Department of Housing and Urban Development said it's cutting its ties to Soul City, North Carolina.
The investigation was requested by Senator Jesse Helms.
False accusations got reprinted day after day after day. We were attacked viciously by Senator Helms.
Suffice it to say, Jesse Helms was never a friend of African Americans.
I can't help but think that that's politically motivated and possibly racially motivated.
It just was all like washed away.
Soul City's developer says the action is unfair.
It's just like aborting a child before its development.
They've just gotten to where they could really have a chance.
Floyd just had too much to overcome.
I think racial prejudice is what makes people say we have failed.
It didn't fully realize the dream, but we implemented a piece of the dream, and it changed people's lives.
In 1973, Floyd McKissick set out to build a city from nothing. He called it Soul City. He named the streets after Black leaders: Nat Turner Drive, Sojourner Truth Trail, Douglas Loop, and Liberation Road. He built the water system, the factories, even a healthcare clinic from the ground up. But within a decade, the government pulled the funding and the land was handed over to a state prison. This is the story of Soul City and the investigation that killed it.
Now, didn't know nothing about this. That was wild. Now, you know that you think about this 5 years after 1968, right? The last Civil Rights Act, the Indian Civil Rights Act. And then you had a lot of these cities, right? So a lot of people was trying to build these new cities. Now, if you didn't know, Trump actually had put something out there where he said that there's a lot of abandoned cities and he's accepting proposals for groups of people to build their own cities and towns. I don't know if anybody heard of that, but might want to look into it.
Wood with us?
I would go if y'all don't let them bother me or nothing like that. I don't want to go out and get hurt or nothing. Yeah.
You remember?
Hello, darling.
We brought Minnie Lee Langley back to Rosewood for the first time in 60 years. We also asked Lee Ruth Davis, Leroy Carrier, and Sam Hall, all survivors of Rosewood, to come back for a day.
Oh. Hello, Sammy.
Hey. You remember her, Mr. Hall?
Yeah. I'm bringing back memory that I wished I could get rid of. You know what I mean? This has been a hobby. If you just had been here to listen to all this and see some of it, then you would have known just what it was. We lost everything. Lost everything.
You own the land?
Yeah, we own our land. All of them.
And no one ever paid you any money for this land?
No.
Just lost it.
Took it.
Rosewood. You won't find an accurate account of it in any history book. Yet, about 40 people were killed here one terrifying week 60 years ago. When you think about it, far greater atrocities have happened elsewhere in the world. But Rosewood belongs to America. It's a real American horror story. The wonder is that it stayed secret so long. Minnie Lee Langley never even told her family.
I didn't want them to know that I was scouting through the woods to stay out there all night long, out there in that cold and all that stuff. I didn't
running for your life?
Running, trying to save my life. I didn't want them to know just how I come along, through all of this and what the white folks had did to us, because I thought it was really mean. What they did to us was mean and did it without a cause.
Now, this is the one issue that we have today, right? Because we want to focus on slavery, and we're here at my point. I'm showing you these things, and I'm trying to figure out where African is in this conversation. I haven't heard of African yet. And all these things that I pulled up, I haven't heard African, or heard slave trade, haven't heard anything. What I've heard is people in these times, right? This is 1983. And these other things that's going on about people that haven't mentioned anything about African and all these atrocities that are happening to them, but they want to add an African American to that. Do you understand why you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting? Because you're making the wrong claims. The wrong claims. But like I said, I'm gonna be short today. I can't be long today. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. So I'm just trying to give you guys a different angle. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult, and it's not complicated. It wouldn't be complicated if you know where to attack. What lanes you're talking about? You're talking about this woman right here, Rosewood, right here. See what I'm saying?
Black Americans built entire towns from nothing. Doctors, lawyers, hotels, hospitals, thriving communities. White mobs burned most of them to the ground. They say never forget about everything else, but always exclude the history of Black Americans from that idea. Over 50 Black towns were destroyed in America. Here are some of them. Never forget.
Now, here's the other part of it too, as well, right? So in the title, right, we got convict leasing, right? It's a term. I don't know if you guys heard it before. It's called convict leasing, right? It says the rise and fall of Jim Crow, right? So let's take a look at this. This is very important. Now, this is Jim Crow. This is during a time when people were supposed to be free. Okay? And remember, we're talking about a West African slave trade. Africans.
Like 12-year-old Cy Williams, sentenced to 20 years on a convict lease gang for taking a horse he was too small to ride. 8-year-old Will Evans, who received 2 years for stealing change off a store counter. And Mary Gay, sentenced to 30 days for taking a hat. She was 6 years old. By the turn of the century, tens of thousands of Americans, 1/4 of whom were children, had been condemned to hard labor in convict lease camps.
Convict leasing was slavery's replacement. It has been described as worse than slavery, and in every respect it really was. What typically would happen is that some landowner Somebody who needed workers for the mines, someone who was going to build a railroad would come into a community and say, I need 600 men. And these companies would pay the states a certain amount of money for this labor. And it was a very profitable system for economic development in the Deep South.
To supply the demand for convict labor, sheriffs arrested blacks for misdemeanors and vagrancy. Judges sentenced them to far harsher terms than whites charged with the same crime. For petty theft, a white man might receive 90 days in jail. A black man, 2 years on a convict lease gang.
To get the quota, law enforcement would not think twice about finding any able-bodied person, including 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids.
They cleared snake and alligator swamps, dug coal and gas-filled mines, built railroads and tapped turpentine trees in 100-degree plus heat. Men worked 14 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, in conditions that one convict described as 9 kinds of hell. Sometimes housed in rolling iron cages, like those used for circus animals, fed the worst of food, denied medical treatment, men died from malaria, scurvy, frostbite, sunstroke, dysentery, snakebite, and shackle poisoning.
All right. Let's listen to this. That was black and white. This one in color.
There were owners of private prisons who were suing the states they are contracted to imprison people in because they don't have enough prisoners, because the state got lax on some of their laws and decided to be more lenient on incarceration. So you have a state government that goes, all right, we ain't gonna put as many people in prison. But the private company running the prison go, nah, motherfucker, you promised us 80% capacity at all times. We at 50% capacity. Go catch some niggas and bring them and or reimburse me for the people that are not in here. And the state can't afford to do it. So they locked up in court right now. Damn.
So has anything changed? It says the previous one said, what? The rise and fall of Jim Crow. Has it failed? Let's listen again.
There were owners of private prisons who were suing the states they are contracted to imprison people in because they don't have enough prisoners, because the state got lax on some of their laws and decided to be more lenient on incarceration. So you have a state government that goes, all right, we ain't gonna put as many people in prison. But the private company running the prison go, nah, motherfucker, you promised us 80% capacity at all times. We at 50% capacity. Go catch some niggas and bring them and or reimburse me for the people that are not in here. And the state can't afford to do it. So they locked up in court right now. Damn. There were.
Hey, man. Hey. Say hey. Say, man. Can you imagine? Prisons are suing the state for not giving them the capacity that they were contracted to do. Now, under the circumstances, right, we've been dealing with that during the pandemic, during the shutdowns, where they was changing the rules and things like that, where it was letting people go, not putting them in, so on and so forth, right? But they turned it around, and they was talking about immigrants, right? Illegal immigrants getting away with all these crimes and not being, detained. So you have your issue that you're dealing with, right? I mean, I think at the end of the day, my ears are still in the street. Brothers and sisters going to prison right now. Don't pass go. Okay? Non-violent crimes still going. But obviously these immigrants got a whole different code that they're leaning on to get them out. Why? And this is all coming down to the 14th birthright citizenship and all that naturalization, because they're claiming their nationality. See, this is what they're doing. They're claiming their nationality. I don't understand your laws. I don't understand what's going on. I'm a national of these. I don't understand your laws. This is how I function. I'm under that jurisdiction, not under yours. So if I say I'm not under your jurisdiction, you can't incarcerate me. You have to let me go. I am not subject to these statutes and codes and so-called laws that you guys are bringing to me. I don't understand it. You remember when they snatched up the president of Venezuela, and they showed it on TV, and what he said was, I don't understand this. I've been kidnapped from my state, from my country, over here for whatever reason. That's what he said. I don't understand your laws. I don't understand what you're talking about. So, what did I mean by that? We're going to pass that. Hold on.
I'm about to reveal one of 7 biggest secrets of North America. And I guarantee you, you need to listen very closely to what I'm about to show you, because it's never been shown in this way before. But I'm going to need you to take a screenshot. Take as long as you need, right? Now I'm about to explain what you're seeing right here, right? I'm about to explain what you're seeing, right? So this lady that you're looking at is one of many indigenous peoples or mound builders that went to court, and not the court that you think, right? They got many different secret courts in North America, right? But you...
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Just got to find the right one. But she won her case, and here go the year. Now, what's funny about this year, that the United States was forced to sign the 1866 treaty. That's a secret, right? And
did y'all know that? Did y'all know that?
And the courts say that the United States do not own the ancient mound builders of North America much more than 1 million miles. What is 1 million miles? All right, let's start right here. This is 1 million miles. Boom, 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 right? This is 1 million miles, right? So you keep thinking that reparations gonna pay for North America, but they gotta pay for this, that, but not Africa. Why not Africa? Why not Africa? Did you catch that? Go and take a screenshot again. And let me say, why not Africa? Take a screenshot. Why not Africa? Because if you say the indigenous mound builders of North America, which is 54 million owners of 1 million miles, look, you can put them in Africa. What we got to do with Africa? What do we have to do with Africa? Nothing. So if you take all this land and put us in Africa, cool. But there's another secret. That's about to blow your mind. That's another secret that they had to bow down. It's another secret, right? Take a screenshot. And while you're taking a screenshot, I'm about to speak. Now, as you can see, the 13th and 14th Amendment, they had the writers in the Constitution. Why would you write somebody from Africa in the Constitution? Now, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Now, in August 19, right, they had the so-called recognize the so-called Afro-American or Afro-Indigenous populations in the Constitution. In Article 2, they had to put them and recognize them. They did not recognize the so-called Mayans, did they? The Aztecs, did they? Because they're immigrants. So why would you write somebody?
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
In the Constitution in North and South America. Why would you do that? Now, I'm about to show you something about to blow your mind. Have you ever heard of this act right here in 1790? It's called the Non-Intercourse Act, where lands and all this and treaties and federal authority don't have no... Man, take a screenshot, bro.
All right, so look, let me read this. Because if you remember, right, you guys saw the debate. I talked about this. What I was showing was just this, not subject to. Let me read this. The Non-Intercourse Act first passed in 1790, and that's when you get your first federal United States census. That's where you have your 1790 Naturalization Act. Previously, you had your 1789 Alien Enemies Act and your Alien Seditions Act, right? You had all those things going on at a certain point in time. You also then created the Coinage Act. The Coinage Act was created in 1790, right? That's what gave the United States what they defined as what is a dollar, what is considered to be money in the payment of debts. All right, so the Non-Intercourse Act prohibits the sale, grant, lease, or conveyance of land from any Indian tribe to individuals or states unless conducted via a public, keyword, public treaty under federal authority. What that means is, has to be in the public. I mean, has to be known, has to be decreed. And the federal government, right, under federal authority, I should say, of the United States of America, which is the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land based on the treaty that is connected to, that made them the trustees, fiduciaries, conservators, and regulators of all individuals subject to the United States or United States citizens. And anybody else that was doing any subcontracting with them, like the states, in regards to the business of trading with the indigenous nations. Did you guys catch that? Clip that. All right. Now, land transactions are invalid. Listen, land transactions are invalid if this federal approval is lacking, aiming to prevent private fraud. What is lacking?
So
land transactions are invalid. This is defining the previous sentence that I just read. Any of these land, let me say it a different way. Any of those so-called land transactions are invalid if the federal approval is lacking. So if everything was done privately, this is what I showed in the 1775 New York Treaty with the Creek and the Seminoles. That George Washington said that he's going to be responsible for regulating all citizens, all United States citizens in trade, in commerce, coming over into Indian country. They're going to be responsible for that. And anything that is to be done has to be done with their approval, has to be signed off on. They have to be approved, licensed, and registered in every situation, just like you would do today if you fill out an SS4 form to create a company through the Treasury and get license and approvals through the other branches in order to do business on this continent, on this land. That's it. So this whole thing they talking about Astor, and they had all these mortgages, and he was doing this, and he was dealing with fur trade and so on and so forth. How was that being done? He either had to be one or two things. He had to be some type of private investor, private person who had a company that was authorized through the Crown, through Britain, or through the United States of America, or he was a big Indian tycoon and came from those side of the family. There was no other way that it was to be done. Period. Point blank.
This is why Washington, D.C. and the Jews on our ass. This is why the states no, you know what? I'm going to have to make a part 2 to show you that what's.
Now, right here, just real quick, so you guys can see this right here. Now, I understand what you're saying, none of your business. And you guys, we can come up and talk about it for a sec, because I want to stay here with it. But here is, you got to look at, this is 1848. Now, this case is actually showing, right, that it's saying that the United States did not. Let's go back. Let's go back up here. So right here, if you see right here, it says that the Supreme Court decision 1848 declared that the United States does not own the land of the ancient ones, mound builders of North America. Now, this is way before Noble Drew Ali. This is way before, what's her name? Right? This is the case. Heirs of Henry Turner. This is 1848 now. What was going on during that time? All right. I got you. So, hold on, you guys. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. All right. So let's go back here. So this right here, so the court case was the United States versus heirs. Turner, 1850 was an appeal to the earlier case won by the heirs. The heirs versus United States in 1848. In other words, on June 6, 1848, a Supreme Court decision read by Theo H. McCaleb declared that the United States does not own the land of the ancient mound builders of North America, much more than 1,000 square miles of land. Moors are the title holders. The titles are El, Bey, Day, Al, and Ali. Now, this right here, I don't know. I think this is something else that's coming into play here. Congress has codified international obligations of the United States, specifically United States Code, Title 11, Chapter 15, Subchapter 1, Section 1503. Okay, we ain't about to go into all of that. And let's see here. Let's see what this is. This is AI. Cleared that the United States does not own land on ancient mound buildings and recognize the heirs of this decision was part of the case United States versus heirs of Henry Turner. Now, this is AI now, so we can at least fact check it on AI. So, made significant rulings in this case. Land ownership. The court declared that the United States does not own the land. Lawful landowners, the heirs of Henry Turner, were recognized as lawful owners of the land in question. This decision was pivotal in affirming the rights of the heirs over the land historically associated with the mound builders. Okay, what were the implications? Include the establishment of strong protections for private property rights, particularly through the takings clause of the Fifth Amendment. Okay, cool. This requires just compensation where property is taken for public use. Additionally, cases like Kelo versus City of New London have sparked significant public backlash that to reforms in eminent domain laws across many states, highlighting the tension between government regulation and property rights. All right, so look, this right here can be utilized. All right, now you've been, this can be utilized because it's dealing with all the other fluff. We could deal with this, the takings clause of the Fifth Amendment. We could deal with that. Eminent domain, this is what I showed the other day. All right, this is what I showed the other day. Now, what I'm going to do also is let me go to my history real quick. Hold on, let me do this. So y'all don't need to see all that. Let me pull up this real quick in California so you guys can take a look, see where I'm going with this. Let's go here with it. Let's go here with it. If I can find it real quick. If not, I will just do a quick search on it. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Guys, hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Kick back, lean back. Do what you do in the meantime. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. We're going to pull this up real quick. I'm looking for the political one that I did. There you go. All right, here you go. All right. Here you go. Now, right here you go, right here. California introduces first in nation slavery reparations package. It says first in nation, right? Remember, they supposed to have been talking about this for a long time ago. Right? I ain't worried about that, Darvis. What up, man? So look, right here. This is January 1st, January 31st, 2024. Right? You see right here, they got African Americans. Let me put the link in the chat. I ain't staying long, y'all. Let me put the link in the chat. Y'all come up here. Let's do some machine gun rap up here and let's get it in. I got maybe another 30, 45 minutes. So yeah, jump on up here. None of your business. I know you got a lot to say on this one. Business, I know you do too. Jarvis, none. Y'all got to come up here. Come on up here. If not, let me keep reading. I don't see the back chat, so just wait for me. Let me read this. It says California state lawmakers introduced a slate of reparations bill on Wednesday, including a proposal to restore property taken by race-based cases of eminent domain and potentially unconstitutional measure to provide state funding for specific groups. To provide state funding for specific groups. All right. So if we go back here, right, let's go back to what we just looked at. We saw that. That's a good case. Deal with takings, right? As we saw right here. Fifth Amendment, takings clause. Takings clause falls under the 5th and 14th, actually, as well. Now, you say, well, I'm American Indian. How does that apply to me? Well, it does apply to you because you've been put into suspect classifications without your agreement. And they have been applied to you in order to imprison you, take your land, and do all the other type of things that they wanted to do in order to keep you in a suppressed situation. And that is all geared around that suspect classification and stripping you in the system that was created amongst a treaty and constitution in order to protect rights and keep us not subjected to the jurisdiction of the United States and that prison slavery system that they run. Yeah, employer-employee status, right? Then, outside of that, that's a whole different conversation. But we had it right here, right? Where this conversation was, this guy's talking about that these private prisons are in court right now suing the states for not filling up their prisons that they promised to do. Then you have this, which is considered to be convict easing, right? Convict leasing, I should say. This convict leasing. People say, well, I lease an apartment, I lease a house, I lease a car. Yeah. This is what they call convict leasing. You're leasing these children, right? Now, these are children. Remember they was talking about enslaving children? Right? Trafficking children. You see what I'm saying? And you're taking these children and other people, different ages of people, but mostly children, and you're leasing, you're turning them over to these places in order to do their business, and you're getting them for pretty much nothing. Absolutely nothing. That is called convict leasing. Yeah, we're going to lease them for, or what we'll say, we'll have a mortgage for what, 30 years? We'll have a mortgage for 15, 10 years, 5 years. You'll have a lease car for what, 5 years, 2 years? Yeah. Convict leasing. Then you have this area right here under the same circumstances. You can destroy black towns. You can destroy them if you call them black towns, because this is not connected to anybody. I showed yesterday in the Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition, there is no such thing as a black man or black people. It does not exist. Right? Rosewood. We knew what happened then, amongst other places. But let's deal with Rosewood. Everybody like to talk about Tulsa. Let's talk about Rosewood. Right. Also, let's talk about the rise and fall of Soul City in North Carolina. Darvish, you might know about Soul City. Darvish, you know about Soul City in North Carolina? You ever heard about that? That they actually set up the cities and everything, and then the government took it back. The HUD took it back. Nah, we ain't giving you no more money. Nothing. Right? And these are supposed to be the people, right? A picture of the people that actually were boarding the Titanic. All these people. All right? Do I have that case? Yeah, I got that case. But yeah. Yeah. Let me play this for what up, Doug? Let me play this for Darvish. He in Carolina, brother. Let me play this for him.
If black people want to live in Mount Vernon, New York, or New Rochelle, or New York City on East 67th Street, they can. And they too can live in Soul City.
The guiding light behind the project is Floyd McKissick.
In this new town, persons will be able to
know your business. You just an angry woman, ain't you? Woman, you angry.
control their own destiny.
I love it.
McKissick had the idea that it was now time to build.
We were going to send a message to the rest of the state and the rest of the country that yes, we are on the way.
Black people feel rejected. They feel like they have been pushed into a corner. They feel that there is no faith. There's not a chance. It's a matter of hopelessness. It's frustration.
Soul City has a short but controversial history, criticized over the years by Senator Jesse Helms and others as mismanaged.
There are some folk who don't believe that a black man could do it or should be doing it.
Department of Housing and Urban Development said it's cutting its ties to Soul City, North Carolina.
The investigation was requested by Senator Jesse Helms.
False accusations got reprinted day after day after day. We were attacked viciously by Senator Helms.
Suffice it to say, Jesse Helms was never a friend of African Americans.
I can't help but think that that's politically motivated and possibly racially motivated.
It just was all like washed away.
Soul City's developer says the action is unfair.
It's just like aborting a child before its development.
They've just gotten to where they could really have a chance.
Floyd just had too much to overcome.
I think racial prejudice is what makes people say we have failed.
It didn't fully realize the dream, but we implemented a piece of the dream, and it changed people's lives.
No. You ever heard of that?
What's that?
Soul City.
That sound like it. Yeah, it smells good in here, though.
What's up, bro?
What up with it, man?
Ain't nothing, man. Yeah, these dudes, man, the people still on the wrong subject, bro, about what happened and shit, man. It's got to do a lot of this shit got to do with banking, yo. And them motherfuckers not wanting to pay us back. So that's where I think a lot of these white people they be thinking they going in, bro. They ain't going in for real. Cause they be like, well, they just used the black. That dude was contradicting himself. How you gonna give somebody a mortgage, right? And then say that they was used, their bodies was used as labor, for the whatever that family was in Britain, bro. That means that they was never repaid for their labor. You know what I mean? So how can somebody use this across the waters, use somebody and they not even here?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh boy, he talking like he knows some shit, but yeah,
it don't make sense, bro. Like, what was they called? The fucking what family was that again? Because there's a bunch of them, but they trying to single out them.
Yeah, that was the Astors.
Okay, so those motherfuckers was doing the same thing as the fucking Calvert family in Maryland, the Carroll family, and all of those people, just claiming stuff. And then these people was using those trusts with the coat of arms back. That's in nature has no color lines. You'll see all the coat of arms, right? But these people was building trusts to protect their wealth from the monarchs in England. So they brought that same concept over here. Now, the whole problem that we was having was the fact that the bonds that we were setting up for our labor was never repaid. Because you do have labor bonds, right? Now, unless you're saying that our people were so stupid, right? Or even the people in Africa, unless they are so stupid that they didn't know how the system was working, there's no reason to give people labor for free. Unless we was already actively in that business as well. Because you can release bonds as a creditor if you got a plantation. You know how that works? All you gotta do is say, okay, I'm gonna give you a loan for 10,000 per bond, right? I got a plantation. I get my family to work the land for a certain amount of money. Okay. Now the deal for the government or who's ever brokering those bonds would be whatever interest you make on the bonds, you can keep it. But just just return those the 10,000. It can be 50,000 or $1 million. Just return those bonds for me as credits back to my estate, right? So if you accept the $50,000 bond through the Treasury, Now, once those bonds become matured, once you release 50,000, once they make 50,000 off of the product that you send them, now you got credits. So now I can cash those credits in for gold, whatever, or I can just keep them as an asset. Now, if I got labor and I'm using my children, my grandchildren, we work in the land, we sending all these bonds. Now those bonds get to the point where they like, you know what? Shit. We gotta return them their payments. Oh, but instead of doing that, let's go to war with them. You see what I'm saying? So now y'all see that's what all the wars was about. They didn't want to pay us what they owed us. So now you got these white motherfuckers coming on here talking about, oh, they was using, y'all was enslaved. No, motherfucker, we weren't enslaved. Y'all motherfuckers never paid us our money. You feel me? Our bonds. What the fuck are you talking about? We know how to do banking. We know business. You feel me? The fuck are you talking? See, that's the shit that I don't like, man. Because the whole time they acting like they smarter than us and shit. You feel me? Like we wasn't the ones conducting business on our own shit. Because if that was the case, we would have fucked y'all up as soon as y'all got off the boat. Which we should have did in the first place. But we were doing business. Y'all motherfuckers caused the confusion because y'all didn't want to pay us back our shit as the creditor. So y'all made deals with the foreign bankers. Let's call it what the fuck it is. Y'all sold out. We helped y'all out and y'all stabbed us in the back. Let's fucking call it what the fuck it is, bro. You feel me? Because the shit be pissing me off when they doing this shit, man. Like as if we had acres, 1,000,000 acres working this shit, giving them a place to stay, and y'all motherfuckers ain't pay us back. Period. And y'all systematically made sure that y'all can cause that y'all can go to wars from covertly with fucking sleeper cells. You know what I mean?
They're doing
That's what
it
the fuck
now.
happened. Through secret society, secret handshake, secret treaties and shit. You know what I mean? Because y'all didn't want to pay us back our credits. All the way through the Freeman Bank and shit. Why the fuck we was the only ones with banks? The fuck? And everybody that was on the Titanic was the ones that already knew what the game was. The game they were trying to run. They were trying to take over the financial system. Because they knew what the fuck we wanted to owe. Oh, so instead of them finding out that they owe us, let's say they come from Africa. They wasn't ever here.
So would you think that they actually was trying to accomplish with all them cats that they ended up drowning out there in that boat? What was they trying to get them to turn over their banks or their assets and put it all in the bank or what?
Those was the lobbyists that was, man, I studied this years ago. We were talking about this. Well, what happened was those was the lobbyists that was going against. Look, it was Congress people that knew that shit was these people was treasonous. I don't know if you can find it, but I remember back a while ago. Man, there was Congress people in the House Joint. It was people on the congressional records that was calling all of them out, talking about they were trying to convict these congressmen that these Congress people that were trying to vote for the Banking Act. They was like the shit that's going, like sending them that shit was going on in the 1912. And guess what happened to the congressman that brought charges against all of them for bringing in the Federal Reserve? Found dead. He was found dead.
Yeah.
This was
that was McFadden, right? What was his name?
One of them, I forgot. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I think that was his name. It's been a while, so I done forgot a lot of this stuff, bro. But yeah, bro, all of the Senate, all the Congress people that was going against the Banking Act to bring in this Federal Reserve was found dead, bro. Now it was, and the Titanic was just the lobbyists, the ones that was funding all of these people to go against the Federal Reserve. Because all that shit is just usurping the fucking the assets, which is through the citizenship, to make the people perpetual laborers to pay off an impossible debt through interest payments. So yeah, but we was running this shit where we was becoming the savings bonds lenders to the United States. We was the lenders.
So what happened? What happened with all these towns, man? What was happening with these towns and getting flooded and shit? You had Seneca Park, you had Tulsa, you had Rosewood, you had the Carolinas, you had all these different places that had their own money, had their own everything.
Right. That was
how did that trickle down though? I mean,
that was done through the United States too. You know what? Janice goes in real good on this, bro. She's real thorough with what they did with the towns being flooded out, where she was pointing out where dude, I think she got a book on this. I gotta get a book, but she pointed out the fact that the Army Corps engineers re-diverts a lot of the dams. I mean, dam up a lot of the lakes. I mean, rivers, and then after you dam up one part, it's gonna flood another part. Right. That was done through the Army Corps engineers. So that was all an attack through the United States attacking the free people of the land, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. So it's not. It ain't no real complicated thing when you see that a lot of the people that's saying that they riding with us are really not riding with us, bro, because they should have been brought these people up on charge or brought attention to this stuff, bro. But they not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so many towns that was flooded out, that was, they laid siege to, that they just sneaking, just doing shit like coward shit, bro. Like not really going to war with us, you know what I mean, but doing little sneaky shit to fuck us up.
J-Dub, what you got, man? What you got, J-Dub?
About the you were talking about that eminent domain.
Man, you still got them problems over there, J-Dub.
What happened now? I just damn.
I don't know what you got.
I can hear him. I can hear him.
Yeah, but he had a long pause in there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We never couldn't hear you.
Okay, so that eminent domain that you were reading from, that is that state, California state, some kind of, it's attached to some kind of a lawsuit, a program for eminent domain victims?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's why they brought that in there, because of what's actually been going on. They've been hiding through all these takings, right? It's the takings clause, right? Remember to take you need to utilize that takings clause. And they were utilizing these lawyers and these mortgages, right? So let me give you a quick one, right? We talk about this all the time. Real quick. You get the mortgage, it's already done. There's an underwriter in the back, the investor. As soon as that thing is done, within 9 months, they already transferring over to the investor. It's already done. It's already over. They already didn't transfer it, sold the note, everything. Got the insurance, got pot out, everything. They open up 2 other escrows, right? So the 2 other escrows go over in, and now you got your creditor debtor escrow and you got your investment escrow. Then what happens is now unsecured debt. And what happens is when they get to the part where they know it is actually going to go into default, they come in as a real estate investment on an assignment to the county, and who is acting as a servicer for the state, and they utilize that and they disguise that foreclosure process through eminent domain. You know what I'm saying? They did. Well, let me say it. My bad. I said it backwards. They disguise eminent domain through the foreclosures. That's what's actually happening. And they're doing assignments through the unlawful detainer courts, and that's why they can streamline that shit real quick, based on the fact in a landlord tenant court, shit, you got 5 days to do it, and it's going to be under $25,000, which makes it limited jurisdiction, which then is not on appeal. Where the third appellate court, let's say in Sacramento, the appellate courts, the state appellate courts, don't have jurisdiction over it because it's a limited statutory administrative jurisdiction. You see what I'm saying? Did I say that too fast? That makes sense?
Yeah, I got you. I'm just thinking about if it's a organization like the Community Redevelopment Agency.
No.
It doesn't matter.
And HUD's involved, everything. HUD's involved, all that. They all involved. You see what I'm saying? This is what they're doing. We'll talk about it in detail, but that's pretty much what's happening. Because eminent domain is dealing with government activity.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And they didn't do they didn't produce the public good either. They tore down my public good. See, man, that has to do with that letter I wrote, I told you about, where we were discussing reopening this matter. This is the very civil matter that I'm talking about, that HUD, the city of Los Angeles, the city attorney's office had to cover HUD. And
this is what they're doing, though.
Man, what is this program?
Any homes, 1 to 4 units, that's single family, that is all up under HUD, fair housing. And corporations cannot utilize that at all.
Yeah, they busted for that, but this is also, anyways, I told you the details. There's some LA gangster shit that's involved with it.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's what they did. They boosted it to 4.5 million from 780,000.
Right.
So, and then never built the project because it was never really truly connected to HUD. It's all whack. So it's the proof I have, and it's a loss of goodwill claim. So they already admit fault. So.
Right. But so if in a real estate investment transaction, right, J-Dub, if you do an assignment, right, let's say you bring a claim and let's say you tender that deposit, right, somewhere, and the bank that you're dealing with, right, when we talk about the bank or the bank, right, bank, take that assignment, right, then basically what are they doing? They are acquiring the debt. They're acquiring title. They're acquiring that note, that instrument, and everything that they're doing. Now, I'm coming from a whole different angle. You know what I'm saying? Nobody never thought about it like this, but that's what they're doing. They're doing real estate investment transactions. They're doing assignments. And the county courts, the Superior Court of California, is taking and buying the assignments. And they're using the sheriffs for enforcement to get it. So basically what they're saying is you went from landowner to tenant in a matter of minutes. So that means you have no rights to title. And if you actually don't know what you're doing and you subject yourself to that jurisdiction, you're done. See what I'm saying?
So that's for owners of that land, though, not for tenants of the building that have businesses there.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, they're doing it the same way. They're making it a whole commercial. It's a whole commercial venture.
Yeah, they pile you all in as one. They take all of your rents and they take the value and don't give you any of the value for what they calculated to put into the sale of the property.
Right.
So they gave it all to the seller. And it's like, it's bullshit. How you gonna give the seller our business?
But that's why that Politico came out in January, 2024. And something happened during that time, and it was interesting. It came out exactly at that time in January of 2024.
Well, that what you read? Is that what you read? That was an article. Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was an article.
Okay, so it's not a program. Is that?
No, this was an article saying that they was gonna look into it. But what I'm saying is that there's been claims made, right? We've talked a lot, so there's claims being made, and people have been contacted by certain people, and then boom, all of a sudden they come out with this shit. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Well, I ain't got to spell it out to you, right?
Okay, I got you.
All right, so look, that's the issue. So if you're pulling right original jurisdiction, right? If you're doing something in one venue and you have this whole theatrical play as if there's something really going on, and you entice the people to rely on this jurisdiction being actually something that's real, but really is coram non judice, what are you doing? But then after that, you have what you have, right? 28 USC 454 judges practicing law. And then you have clerks filing things, doing things under those circumstances. You have also them knowing, right? Because within that, they're going to do something sua sponte, right? Sua sponte means on their own motion. That means that the court has now taken some type of financial interest in it. Right? So, other than that, moving forward, then what happens is what? You're coming in with a whole case with no lease agreement, no California residential lease agreement, rental agreement that is approved by the state. You're actually presenting something saying, hey, I need this judgment right here. They're coming in specifically on summary judgment. It's already been decided. There's nothing you can say. Once you step foot in that court and you get to arguing that shit, you're done. Because now you just submitted yourself to the jurisdiction, and that's what they're doing. But this is where the judge and this is where the clerk, they supposed to be sua sponte on the other end, using their discretion and kicking that shit out. You say, wait a minute, there's no lease agreement here. Where is it at? Yeah, I see you got this and you got that, but there's no lease agreement. Where is it at? But they're allowing these instruments to come in, and even if you come in there, you don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. You know, I keep going on that one, but yeah. But you see what I'm saying?
Right. But you still gotta look at every avenue when you're looking at your personal property, especially if they're gonna play the game as you would being a tenant. See, if that's the case, then I'm like, I can be like, well, if I'm working on land or property that you saying I'm a tenant on, then you owe me for all the upkeep, and then you got a building for that. So how much labor did you put into the property if they're gonna play that game? Because I'm the only respondent that's been in the vicinity. All these other people are coming off of hearsay and talking about that they have interest in land that I'm obviously the caretaker of, right? So now if you all going to act as if you are the owners, which you're not, then you owe me for how many years my family been on this in this particular parcel of land, and now you owe us millions of dollars in labor, right? Because slavery is not allowed, right? So you can't take something that my people put their blood, sweat, and tears on without reimbursing us for our efforts on the land, because that's basically what they doing over here to us, for real. That's what they doing to us, bro. They put some shit on land that they know that's not theirs, and then they put a lien on it, like a mechanic's lien on the land, saying that, okay, we developed the land, so even though it's yours, you owe us for us developing the land.
That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead, J-Dog. Go ahead.
that would be, you know, that would show your history of ownership.
Yep. Yep.
Then I think you would be able to get them moved.
Mm-hmm.
Even with that mechanics lien, if they developed your property, because just like you said, the police, the sheriff's involved, and so they're all part of the removal of you from the property.
Right, and they have no firsthand knowledge of the property. All they doing is coming in as a third party.
Yeah,
which is with hearsay evidence. They don't know what the hell's going on. They just sitting there looking at some papers. They don't know nothing about the land at all. You know what I mean? So they can't. They shouldn't be talking about nothing because they have their names is not on nothing from the original documents.
Absolutely right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I think if people just think, you know what I mean, we can easily get over this little game they playing on us, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the problem is the facts that they have these pirates that roll up on your property in tanks and shit, and you know, it's no standing army.
Right. Well, what you do is you ask for any original documents.
This is dead.
Because they don't have any original documents. They can't do anything with just hearsay evidence, bro. You know what I'm saying?
15.
You got all the originals in your possession of your family own it, you own it, and all that other stuff. The only person that should be even talking is you.
Be that way. They be the ones talking and telling you to shut up. In the court.
But I know what you're saying, bro. But you can just object to it's all they talking from hearsay, bro. They have no firsthand knowledge of nothing. Nothing. But yeah, you're right. Even people we do allow them to talk when they shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, well, they was talking with the dang tank on the property. That's what was doing the talking.
Right.
So that's what I mean. They go to that gangster level. So what do you do when they're all corrupt like that?
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Anything sign of a threat, duress, and coercion is inadmissible, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what they doing. They intimidating, you know, our people into falling for the same scheme over and over again. Because people think they don't have any rights or they ignorant.
But how are they getting access to us like that? How are these foreigners coming here getting access to our notes and mortgages and whatever financial documents that they're seizing upon in these courts? And how are they getting access to this stuff?
I mean, it's all public. I mean, especially if you got insider information, you can easily go. You know, you can easily get access to it through court records, BLM, which is Bureau of Land Management. Let's see, HUD, like y'all said, GSA. I mean, stuff is available. You know, you might have to, you know, pay a little bit of money to get the information, but a lot of this information is public, especially if they got, you know, a lot of them would get real estate licenses and get access to you know, non-public entities where they can look up to see, you know, who owns this and who owns this land and who owns this property that the public doesn't have access to. So that's not that hard to get, hard to find. So I mean, we thinking that they playing by fair. They not playing fair, bro.
Oh no, they're not.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They're not playing fair. So I mean, it's up to us to know how to get around all of this. You know, these court and these judges, because these courts are nothing but financial institutions. They're not really here to oh my God, they're not really here to help us. They're here to make money.
They're here to extract money from us.
Yes, that's exactly what they are. That's what they for, bro. So once you know, and once you start, you know, once they start realizing like shit, they kind of know what we doing, this is when they're gonna start flipping everything up. They're gonna start switching up like they doing now. The reason why a lot of this stuff going on in the world because we starting to learn the system. So now they gotta switch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what the new world order is about. Switching it up once the people, our people over here figured it out. Now they gotta switch up to a new system. To some
That's
shit
this,
that we don't know.
that's this FISA court thing that's going on that they're trying to keep tabs on us with, lighting us up with the.
Yeah, but you know. Yeah, but that's just desperation because they running out of options right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? They run out of options.
What's
I mean,
up?
even see that the thing about it is you can take all the land you want to. After a while, what you gonna use it for? Now you can't use it for nothing. It becomes a burden. You know what I mean? Because okay, you take somebody's house and all this other stuff. You got people that can't afford it now because the prices are so outrageous. All they doing is holding on to stuff that they don't have enough people to occupy.
Yeah, but they're taking agricultural land, and so they're just plopping the ag on the property and making money, right?
Yeah, agriculture is something different though. Yeah, you're right.
Taking. Now, I'm not talking about just residential. I'm talking about businesses. They're taking agricultural businesses and
they dropping them. Yeah, the value about to drop.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's an issue, but yeah, because when you get into commodities, that becomes essentials. So
yeah,
you got
real sticky.
Who else on here? Chief, what's up, Chief? What's up, bro?
Thanks, how y'all doing today, brother?
We good, bro.
Great conversation, man. Trying to add a little piece to it, maybe we can give a little bit more insight. These people are dealing with ghost titles and colorable titles. So the claim to the land or the claim to the infrastructure upon the land is all colorable, so it's an invalid instrument on its face. And the only reason they're able to keep up with the scheme that they've been running for years is the people are incapable of claiming a loyal title, because they have disassociated themselves with their heritage, which heritage by definition, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, means the land, right? Heritage ain't no like culture shit. It's your land that's associated with your people. So we've disassociated with our heritage by playing this corporate game, right? This corporate identity game, this corporate, this public game. And none of these titles, how can I say this the best way, easiest way? When you purchase a home, they're giving you a ghost title. It's not an actual real title, right? Even if you use cash or use some type of credit mechanism, nobody's getting the real titles to the land over here. It's all ghost and colorable titles. You know what I mean? So,
it's a certificate of title.
Yeah, I mean, So, and a certificate is nothing more than a receipt.
Right. Yeah, it's not the actual title.
Exactly. So you got to think about this.
Hold on. Time out real quick. Hey, I got to take this call. Y'all keep building. All right. I'm going to be in the back. All right.
No doubt. I mean, when you're taking, like, these government officials, they're operating from vacant offices, right? And so you got to think about it. You got a government agency, which most likely has been given their powers through the executive branch, the corporate executive branch. So now you playing the corporate game. You think you're playing the real game. You're not even playing the real game. You're playing the corporate game, which is a fictional game. And then you're going into a commercial court to argue rights, titles, and interests, which can't even be discussed in that venue because that venue is only dealing with fictional things, fictional entities, corporations, people doing business as corporations. So you're coming in like when you're dealing with like eminent domain, you're coming in and you're arguing ownership rights to land. And I'm not saying anybody has specifically done that, but I know those who have done it. And then what they're doing is they're all part of this private club that are only here to to fleece the people, right? Out of their rights, titles, and interests in whatever instrument that they're utilizing, whether that be a mortgage or a lease agreement or a driver's license, a real estate license, whatever instrument they're a bond, a note, a promissory note, whatever the type of instrument they're using, all these instruments are void ab initio, they're void on their face because they do not meet the necessary requirements of a lawful contract, right? We know a lawful contract has four tiers to it, right? You gotta have two parties. That's one. You gotta have the meetings of the mind, right? When you come together and you discuss the terms of the contract. Then you have to have consideration, lawful consideration, not legal consideration, lawful consideration. And then fourth, finally, you must have two signatures, right? These agencies don't sign anything. You know what I mean? So just imagine you going into a court and you're coming with a lawful argument within a fictional institution. It's a pot of confusion, and the easiest way, I can explain it to somebody is that it's not that you're dealing with a rogue agency or even a rogue government. You're dealing with a usurping empire, right? That's their whole game. Dumb Diverses 1452 or 452, depending on your timeline and what you understand about these things. The whole purpose of these documents was to go around the world and take the resources of the indigenous and aboriginal peoples under corporate auspice, right? The semblance, the color, under color of law, color of title, color of office, and yeah. So I don't see. And I get what, Aton's doing, and I appreciate it. And you, nonetheless, you come with the jewels every time I hear you on here. In my opinion, you're not, how you gonna go to a motherfucker who took your shit and get it? They took it by force, my nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
gunpoint.
Yeah, my nigga. You gonna give them some paper?
That's all they have to do is give up some paper to get someone to go at you at gunpoint. That's the problem. So
because the entire system is run.
Need them Buffalo Warriors back.
Hey,
man, listen, I'll be honest with y'all, boy, man. Don't get me wrong, but it's a game just like any other game. If you don't understand the rules of it, you should learn it, because there's some shit that we created. Them people just learned it and they use it against us because we don't know it. For some reason, we fell asleep or whatever, and we forgot how to fucking play it. But we mastered these games. We came up with these games. We forgot how to play it.
I think, but see, this is what I'll say, Darvis. I
And they
think
do the
that's
same
kind of
thing that we did, like you said, all over the world to us.
yeah. But this is what I'll say, and I'm not trying to push back. Just for the sake of the conversation. Yes, in a righteous world, the conquered should be able to learn the rules to the game and move their place within it. But one, we're not dealing with a righteous group of people, right? They have went out of their way to conceal these things, rewrite these things.
But they ain't really rewritten though.
I mean, shit,
You can find the maxims in the Bible, King.
The complexions ain't the same.
If the maxims in the Bible, guess what, King? We was doing that shit too.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Okay. Listen. I would agree with that. I would agree with that, and that's why we failed.
Yeah.
That's why we failed.
No, God set it up for us to do that, King.
Yeah, but God also knew, and we, no disrespect, we not calling God God. We just using that term for those who might be listening.
Yeah,
right?
For people listening, we understand what we talk about.
Yeah, we understand exactly what we're talking about. But what I'm saying is, okay, well, all these things set up by the Creator, but it's on us. It was on us to choose the mechanism in which we utilize these different legal mechanisms, right? And we chose the wrong way. Now, everybody in the nation didn't choose the wrong way. Some people was operating righteously, but the Most High does not judge man individually. The Most High judges nations. So let
me ask a question though: did the Most High not send His angels down there to teach man how to deal with law? Did you not have prophets out there, judges out there?
Well, they killed we killed the prophets. We killed the prophets.
Yeah, I know we did that, but they were there for a reason, and they taught us law. Those who wanted to listen. A lot of people didn't agree with it and wanted to change whatever. I mean, we did things. Hey, we did things. Let's be honest. We gotta take it all together. That's our history. But
and that's where I'm at with it, right? There's a scripture that says we divert the judgment, right? And what that means to me is like I think our judgment season is past, right? I think that everything that was once on us is about to fall on the rest of the nations, right? According to the timeline, right? That's where we're at. But that doesn't mean that for a long time we weren't under the judgment, and we're trying to, how can I say this without being condescending? You can't get from up under this shit that was put on us by on high. You know, and I get it. Knowledge is power, and the nations are destroyed because they understand not knowledge. I get all of that. So you definitely want to teach your daughters and your sons the proper and righteous information, but that you can't divert the judgment, right? These crackers ain't. Listen, man, your paperwork can be right, and you'll put it in the proper venue, and it'll be right and exact. It's through the right type of entity that you established the correct way, and you might win or lose. If you win, they're not gonna tell you why you won, because they don't want it rinse and repeat it. You know what I mean? They don't want that shit. They don't want one nigga to be able to come out here and tell everybody this is exactly what you gotta do.
Actually, they can try their best not to let it get that far. They'll throw that shit away.
That's what I'm saying. So we dealing with the wicked.
Because they make a judgment on it, then as the president said. They don't want the president to be said. I understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but some people are winning out here, though.
And there are people winning out there. And there are presidents that are being set every day.
And then they changed the rules. They changed the ball.
Man, what I told myself I'm going to start doing this year, man, is going to courts, man. Just sitting in the back of the motherfucking courts, man.
Hey, Darvis, I did that shit for about 6 years, bro. That's how I learned that these motherfuckers is the wicked. They're all, like, every level of this corporate shit, they're all locked in, right? Once I realized that every corporate... Well, this is what I'm saying. Once I realized that every corporation has to have an attorney on staff, right? When they're doing business, these bar attorneys, these grimoires, right? These wizards of words. That's what grimoire means, a wizard of a word, words. Bro, these niggas is crafty as hell with this science that is putting together these different documents and shit like that, bro. They keep that shit knit. Now, is there sometimes where a nigga might be able to go in and break through and get the information and use it to help his people? Yeah, you got what was old boy that was Johnny Cochran. He was known to be a killer, a slayer of Goliath, right?
He was a lawyer, man.
Yeah, but they had to go through that shit.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you a lawyer and you're making that kind of money, you're still manipulating your people.
That's a fact.
So at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm asking you this though: if you don't go in that corporate stance, you have to have a lawyer there, my nigga.
Absolutely not. You don't.
So now, if you come in and corporate persona, sue jurors, do you need a lawyer?
No, you don't. But you gotta.
So now, if you make yourself a plaintiff, that's a little tricky. It's like chess, but you can make yourself a plaintiff. That way, the cause of the defendant don't apply to you. You can have two plaintiffs there. You can even force this person to not have standing if you're crafty enough.
If you see,
but you got to know the game.
Hey, look, man.
We don't know the game, and disrespect the people that know the game, who took years and years of study. There's a lot of sacrifice to learn it.
The game is not to play the game.
I'm saying
it's hard, but it's fair.
What I'm saying is that yes, you do have to be crafty. Yes, it takes years to get these understandings, right? Or overstandings, however you want to utilize the word standing. But nigga, they're not playing fair. They're not playing fair.
Yeah, man, but if they don't play fair, but there are options you can take. That's the way this shit's set up, King.
So you think when we was controlling both sides of the court, the equity versus the law, you telling me that we were withholding redress and justice from?
Let me ask you a question, King. You ever read the Greek version of Sodom and Gomorrah? What's going on in those areas?
No, I haven't. I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't. What do you got it? Can you send it to me?
It's an apocrypha. What the name of that? I think it was Jasher.
Yeah, Jasher. That's not the apocrypha. That's a different set of books. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. But we say apocrypha. I mean, that is a set of. I mean, a certain jurisdiction of books. Ain't no one book really called apocrypha. It's a section of books or a group of books. We understand that. What I'm saying, that book of Jasher, and there's another book. I think it's called the book of Jubilees.
You got Jasher, Jubilees, you got Enoch, and you got the Apocrypha, which is 15 books, right?
Yeah, I got you. Cool. But those two books, they describe a different, if you pay attention to the way we were doing business and in law. Like when them boys went to and Sodom, there's people getting fucked up and Sue was getting fucked up. We were doing some shit with the law. We was running, controlling, making money, manipulating, using strictly law. And these goddamn Levites mastered it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So let me ask you this though.
Listen, even inside the book of Samuel, they talk about how these motherfuckers have been doing
niggas. What kind of law you using?
Based on law, King.
They roll a tank on your damn property. What kind of law you using?
They roll
interest.
Shit.
And then we look for remedy. Man, I know it's that argument. So when now they got to deal with that case, and you deal with, your issues properly, then you get remedy.
I just feel like it's diverting the judgment. I feel like it's diverting the judgment, man. Like
I know it's like that, but listen, though, King, anybody can win. You just got to know the game. A lot of us don't have the time to really sit down and learn the whole game, and God knew that. So you know what he did? He started saying these same niggas that we look at as nobodies around us with this kind of information and experience and this wisdom, and they give it to us freely.
Absolutely.
Like, man, fuck that shit. I don't even wear that shit, man.
Man, I've
And
tried
so now
all
we gotta
kinds.
go, and that same issue comes to us.
Nothing stopped the tank.
Somebody told us how to get out of that. We didn't even pay attention to them. Or we try to do some shit without doing our own research, our own due diligence. And we get caught up in there. It's a learning thing. But you got to learn it. Because if we don't learn it, we will never win. We could never win. We don't understand the rules of the game. You can dunk, you can dribble, you can shoot, but you ain't know the rules of the fucking game.
Yo, it sounded like you Seville right now, nigga. It's crazy.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you the real shit, nigga. That's our problem.
No, I understand. I get that. I'm just saying, like, to me, like, I've been in this shit for a while, bro. I didn't exhausted a whole lot of different remedies. I done studied a lot. I done gave years. I'm talking about what you just said, sitting in courtrooms. I did that for 6 years. Like, and niggas thought I was tripping because that was what I was doing during my weeks. Going and watching these niggas run niggas through the proverbial slaughterhouse. It's a proverbial slaughterhouse. I'm talking about the sheep don't even know that they're about to be slaughtered.
Because they don't know.
They have no idea, like, the business party, like, they still got niggas thinking this shit got something to do with right and wrong.
Yeah, yes. And that's the main issue we have.
This is commerce.
Think of how emotions make us think that we dealing with a right or wrong system.
Nah, but yeah.
But there's no system at play like that.
But
and
then
you go out there thinking that shit, get your head knocked off. Or you're going to have to pay somebody to talk for you, speak for you, take you down a route you really don't want to go. But to them, it don't matter. Because they only have jurisdiction on certain routes. They can only play certain ways. It's like chess.
Right,
and they got somebody watching over them and all they move. And they got to make sure they...
You can't move that rook like you move that bishop. Right. I heard what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, look, I think this is the great place for it. Say it again,
So they commercialize moralism.
I don't think this shit got nothing to even do with morals. I think that's the game they play.
They got us thinking about morals, good and bad, right and wrong, and they're not worried about right and wrong, good and bad.
Hell no, they're gonna throw your ass on the stock market.
Came down this motherfucker and taught us how to motherfucking live on this land, nigga. They taught us business and law. That's what they taught us. We forgot it. The maximum of all these loopholes you run into, you can find most of them in the Bible or the Quran. That means it's been used for I'm talking about for generations after generations after generations. And our people was making it off of that same information, King. We was doing shit to other people based on that same information, my nigga. That's how we end up holding all these so-called, I don't want to call nobody no slave because I don't want to get in that argument right now. But we had laborers that were getting paid next to nothing. If they don't show, we sued them. We acquired a lot of land behind suing, manipulating law, understanding.
You know, it's funny. So, I didn't know about the whole. I didn't know about the whole feudal system, but I've been doing a little bit more research into it, and we already know that that whole shit was being ran by the brews that was over there running shit, right? But the serfs, did you know that the serfs were not owned by men, but they were connected to the land? So if the land was sold, the serfs that were contracted to the land could be sold with the land? Did you know that?
Yeah, because it's business. They're part of the business.
Bro, that's
if you buy a motherfucking car,
when they sell your company,
motherfucking furniture too.
you sell employees. If you sell your business, you selling employees.
Yeah, I'm saying you selling everything.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the employee, the master slave.
That employees are tied to that plantation that you just sold.
Right, but the workers The workers don't have to work. They can
They're
quit.
laborers and they under contract. Yes, they do have to work. Most of them benefit from the harvest too.
To work.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you
can sue their ass if they don't show up. A lot of man, this shit's based on the contract, bro.
I get what y'all saying. I'm just saying it was a different type. It's the same in theory, but in application it was different. You know what I mean? Like you talking about a so-called a white slave that's a serf on the land. His whole families, they all serfs. And they sell a piece of that land, or they sell the entirety of the land to another lord.
No, they sell a business.
Yeah, you can call it a business.
Yeah, it's a business. And those are the employees.
And those are the employees.
Now, they had a lot of, you can find them boy contracts from niggas from right here who own land here in the goddamn United States with contracts, insurance bonds with these people over here in England that was sending these motherfuckers over here to work for a certain amount of time. At the end, we get paid. We negotiate how they get paid or whatever. Renew the contract if necessary.
Yeah, I'm just what I'm
but they
saying.
Gotta put that work in, my nigga.
I see why the system had to be flipped. Like the master had to become servant, and servants had to become the masters. Because people, when we were in that position of control, we ran the courts. When we
exactly. Your mic going out, I am. But you damn sure right. And we did a lot of shit. And that shit comes back to bite us in our ass, nigga.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean by diverting the judgment. I feel like niggas wanna get outside of the judgment of the Most High. Like nigga, I'm gonna send y'all niggas into servitude. Y'all gonna be the borrowers and no longer the lenders. You know what I'm saying? So
damn right.
I just feel like that's where we at right now. And yet, do we have the mind to get
about every
ourselves
13 years when nigga a big ass catastrophe happen, we end up doing some shit. We create some shit, nigga, that bring out in there. And it happens every 13,000 years, bro. And Aquarius, that's when it normally happens. We get too smart. We start making man. Or we start mixing our blood with the other shit, nigga, and making things. Got cursed for that shit. These things start taking over our ass, nigga, and the Most High, according to the story, had to do something to wipe, you know what I'm saying, to give us a goddamn fighting chance. Kept a couple of us and wash the rest of us out, nigga. With the shit that was we built to conquer. And once again, we bringing our own demise to ourselves. And it's gonna happen again, my nigga.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because there's a scripture in Isaiah that says that because of your hardiness, children of Israel, I'm going to remove your mighty men and your lawyers and your lawgivers. And, you know, all of these different heads of basically state, I'm going to remove them from you. I'm going to blot it out your mind so you niggas can't even remember that shit. And that's where I feel like we kind of at, you know, as a collective.
That's where we at right now.
Yeah, I think some of us, the veil has been lifted so we can have these in-depth conversations, but the majority of us, like you said, niggas going to court like begging the judge, telling the judge I'm a good person, nigga. A person is a fiction. Yeah, man, the judge looking at you like, nigga, your ass is the sheep, nigga, or the goat, or the goddamn whatever they slaughter at a chicken, nigga. You about to get slaughtered, nigga. And they got no remorse. And it's like they not doing it for money because the money's fucking fake, my nigga. Like
but it's real in their reality though.
Yeah, it's their reality. You're right. It's their reality. It's their, and we're under that. I think that's what I was really just trying to convey. I wasn't really trying to take control of the conversation.
Another question, right?
Go ahead.
Do you think that the Most High sent them over us?
Absolutely.
All right then.
Right. That's what I mean by diverting the judgment. Instead of us recognizing that the Most High holds the belt that's whooping our ass, we call the white man the belt. You know?
That's what y'all see.
Ignorancy is
I
the
don't
belt.
see it. I don't see it that way though.
Ignorancy is the belt, my nigga. Ignorancy. It
I
will
see
make
us
us
doing
a
it.
wonder.
We doing that to ourselves, bro.
Yeah. Well, because we don't understand how to get out of these joints, because we
Right.
once knew, we dealing with what we're dealing with.
It ain't the Most High doing it. It's us doing it.
When I say the Most High,
Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Now. I'm a God at the heart. So I'm gonna have to go with that. The Most High did it to us because He said He was gonna do it to us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These judgments was
Now
pronounced.
maybe it just so happened to line up the same way at the same time.
What about John
I won't
10,
put that out
34?
there, but
Ye are gods.
No.
Of course.
What I'm saying is this, bro. When you look at, see, I don't gotta go far. I can read the story and know what it means, right? So when I look at Adam and Eve, right? What was their problem? They made a deal with an outsider, right? Once you make a covenant or a contract, because the whole world is ran by. If you look at the Bible, children of Israel created Baal Berith. That's who these small hats are actually in their secret societies who they worship. And if you look at the whole entire world, they all fall under that category. The God of covenants. So when you make deals, everybody's making contracts with everybody. The whole world is ran by agreements. So they know that once you make an agreement with an entity outside of yourself or the creator that made you, you're now in dishonor. You move away from that protection.
Yeah,
And you got
that's the book of Numbers 30 and verse 1.
That's the
exactly.
demiurge.
Yeah, we understand that.
So that's what I'm saying.
You're
So
hooking up with the demiurge.
yes. So the contract Baal Berith is what's really governing all of us. And inside of the Bible, you will see, is that really the creator? Or are you talking with Baal Berith that knows the consequences of you going with a man-made entity and not the creator, the most high? They already know what it is. So that's why when you go into courts, they're trying to get you to agree with their God, bro. See, that's why I look at it like through those lenses. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to do paperwork. I'm doing it because y'all niggas ain't let me let y'all devils know that I ain't got no contract with y'all. You feel me? And I want y'all to know, y'all keep fucking with me. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas is going to fucking get hurt. You know what I mean? And I ain't talking about physically. And guess what, bro? They know. These motherfuckers in these high society, they know. Once a motherfucker know, they don't fuck with you. So
Yeah,
y'all can believe.
that's factual. That's
Yeah, you
factual.
feel
My
me?
teacher used to always tell me that shit too.
Yeah,
He was like,
yeah,
nigga, they fear, like what the scriptures
yeah.
say, the name of
Yup.
the Most High is feared amongst the heathen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, they know. That so I do it just to see
Devices
their
will come
reaction.
online.
And guess what? It works, bro. Them motherfuckers know not to fuck with you. Once they look in your eyes and they see that you know what they doing, they back the fuck off. Nigga, my God, the God that I belong to is not the one that you created and that I'm contracted with. You feel me?
No, I
Because all
agree.
that shit is fake. Because the
Skippy.
shit is all entities fake and they created. See, they know they can't beat the Most High. What they do? They create a God and get you to worship it.
And I listen, I agree to most all that. I just don't agree to the they created.
Mm-hmm.
They just learned it. They
Right.
ain't created.
They learn how to create something for you to worship.
Yeah, I know, but those shit already been being done. We already
Right,
been doing
but
that.
it's only one. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If they create something, and if they learned it, bro, they can still duplicate or clone something. They get you. That what gives them power. If they create a god, right, and get everybody to walk like the United States. The United States is their god, right? That's the way I look at it. So now they got everybody in the United States worshiping that God, which is the government, to come save them. Anything you need, you come to us. You see what I'm saying? And it just blew up. It blew up. It gets larger and larger. Next thing you know, you got Rome. Next thing you know, you got Babylon. But you see, they all fell. You know what I mean? All of them fell, but it got bigger and bigger, didn't it? Next thing you know, it gets too big, and it started to become counterproductive because everybody starts, people start getting greedy. They start doing what? Eating babe, doing the pedophile shit. You know what I mean? Then people start saying, wait a minute, this ain't right. Because after a while, the people that has God in them gonna say, wait a minute, even if they not religious enough, you know right or wrong, don't you? You know what I mean? You know that shit ain't right. Where that come from? Unless you just evil. So I don't even listen to people when they say all this other shit about they don't have any righteous in them. Because if that's the case, then you agree with all this pedophile, this killing and kidnapping, raping, and all this other shit. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I understand what you're saying too, Kerry, but all I was saying is that it ain't nothing new. It's been going on.
Bro, that's what the Bible is. The whole theme is in the whole Bible, right? Motherfuckers want to do shit on their own. They don't want to listen to the Most High. You know what I mean? Like, all right, let's see how this shit work out for you then. You know what I mean? Let's see how it work out. It ain't gonna work out for you like you think it is. Motherfuckers start creating their own gods. You know what I mean? Do Egypt. Do motherfucking Babylon. Next thing you know, Rome. Shit get all fucked up. And they gotta go where? Right back to the source, to the creator again. It's gonna keep happening until
Exactly.
motherfuckers get it. Stop creating
Exactly.
these fake ass gods. Stop making deals with motherfuckers that's devils. Stop stop contracting with them. Stop agreeing with them. Stop making treaties with them. Stop doing it. Oh, you still want to do it? All right, we're gonna see how that shit work out for you. And it's always fucked up, ain't it? It keep happening over and over. Sodom and Gomorrah, same thing. Keep
It
happening.
always happens, babe.
You know what I mean? The rise and fall, because motherfuckers want to think they don't, they can do it their way.
Yeah, it'll be like that. And we done fell, we done rose, we done fell, we done rose, we done fell. And then it's a constant thing.
Yep, constant.
It
Shit
got to
get
be like that.
reset.
The key ain't the rise and the fail. The key is the pattern. I try to study the pattern.
Yep. It's the same pattern, ain't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Ain't nothing new on the sun. It just come around the
Yep.
same motherfucking time. All got to do is patternize. Once you understand the pattern, you can inject what you want to inject. Because you know the pattern now.
See, the enemy, all they do is read the stories and say how they can counter the fucking karma that's going to come out. That's all they do. You know what I mean? Let's get them to sign on to shit, get their signature. You know what I mean? That way, it ain't really us, it's them. They agreeing to it. Feel me?
Yeah, I agree
So,
with you, gang. And that's
nigga
how we
like
get
me,
fucked up. We agree to shit like that.
right. But nigga like me be like, nah, money grip, I ain't agree to that shit. Where y'all get this shit from? Y'all just making shit up.
Damn right. You gotta
And
show
they,
me where I agree to that shit, nigga.
right. And then they try to use your silence as agreement.
Yeah. Because
That's
you don't
another
contest
fucked up
it.
thing they doing. Yep.
Because you don't contest it.
Yeah,
Know what they
exactly.
say about unrebutted affidavit?
Yep. Stands as truth.
The coach is still gone?
You say you had to take a phone call.
Yeah.
That 702 FISA court ruling that's supposed to go on, I guess, April 30th. They said it's going to run out. It's supposedly some surveillance type of legislation.
Yeah. I heard of that.
Sounds like they've been doing some pretty wicked shit with that surveilling Americans.
But they've been doing that for a long time, man.
Yeah, they have. But they're talking about supposedly if they don't renew it, they're gonna have to. A lot of these things have been happening should subside, but I think they're gonna renew it.
They use scared tactics out there, man. So everybody go to their local Congress to make sure they renew it. But this negotiation, man. They got no choice but to renew the shit.
But
Too
they're
much shit
getting
going on right now. Even
weapons.
if they don't renew it, they'll still do it anyway under war powers.
Mm-hmm.
So that shit just really just, you know what I mean?
They just passed the gun law now. They made it unconstitutional to all these gun restrictions across the 50 states. I think it was yesterday. Supreme Court made all of them unconstitutional, and it was unanimous. So even the liberal Supreme, which I was surprised at, that damn Ketanji Brown dumbass, she even voted that shit was unconstitutional. 9-0 for the gun restrictions.
Them boy job in jeopardy too. There's talks about doing something with the justices, dog, that make them boys have goddamn terms. So these niggas, anytime they say something, man, they know that shit could be scrutinized, so they got to be careful what they say, how they ruling them things now. It ain't like it was before, man, when they can make those rulings and there's no repercussion none of this bullshit they say.
Well, that's a fundamental right. Like, I don't even know why people would even vote for anybody that's talking against the Second Amendment. Well, no, not the Second Amendment. Well, the second gun, Second Amendment. That's written in. That's like in stone right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're slowly trying to get rid of it, though.
Right.
Especially when they put you in when they start changing these state constitutions and they get you in a state law. The federal constitution ain't even in jurisdiction anyway, so they don't really give a fuck with the federal constitution. It's about what the state law got going on. If you can't get that shit moved to one of those venues, you're gonna have to learn how to fight in the state.
Yeah.
But the good thing though, man, as long as niggas like y'all boy out there with y'all ears to the ground, man, and coming and bringing that information, man, making it public, at least giving the person a direction to go search. That'll help us, man. They help us a lot, dog. The shit we learned, say, since Aton started this channel, I started popping up. You know how much it would cost to learn that in school?
Oh, yeah.
Man, they won't even teach this shit in school.
Yeah, you gotta go through school. You gotta find a mentor that deal with those. But then, as a lawyer, you really can't do that anyway, because it wouldn't apply to a lawyer because he's in the contract anyway. He's part of a bar.
Yeah, they already sold out.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's why when you hire these motherfuckers, dog, those options become elite. Excuse me, not elite. Excuse me. Become important.
A lot of information, right, that you learn is that we expose is shit that you can, like, say for instance, you got a degree. You ain't gonna learn it in no school, no college or nothing. But once you get hired by a firm or something, they will send you to a private joint, and guess what? And they're gonna give you the inside trade secrets, right?
Yeah.
So trade secrets is not going. You can't learn that because that's private information. And guess what? When you get hired after you get out of school, you get hired by these firms. Guess what they make you sign? A non-disclosure agreement. Exactly.
Non-disclosure.
So a lot of this. Exactly. So a lot of stuff people be arguing like, man, where you get that from? Like, dude, you ain't gonna learn this shit no way. Because especially when you talk about trust and how shit really ran with the bonds.
If everybody understood that shit, then what would happen to the bar association?
It wouldn't exist.
See what I'm saying?
It wouldn't exist.
So they gotta keep us in.
Right.
If a nigga start teaching the real shit like that, they gotta stop
Yep.
them from teaching it. Cause their whole
Not only
livelihood depend on it. Cause if everybody when we wake that far up, dude, shit, them boys irrelevant. They know that.
nigga, not only will it not they won't exist, but every single politician, lawyer, all them motherfuckers will probably be hunted down, bro,
Yeah,
and slaughtered.
yeah.
That's why they want to keep people ignorant because their lives depend on us being ignorant. Because if we learn the shit that we need to know in this country, on this land, nigga, we gonna be hunting them motherfuckers down. They done. They done because they been doing some wicked shit to us, bro. They been lying to us, stealing from us, getting rich off of shit, kidnapping, all types of rituals, all types of shit, bro. That they not telling us about. People are saying something, but it's getting harder to really recognize who they are. You know what I mean? Where they at? Where a lot of this information is now.
There's no consequences for none of that.
Well, you got people.
It depends. It depends. If you get caught in the bar, you make the bar look bad, and the bar do something to them. But that's only if they made to make the bar look bad. Sorry, that
anything goes.
No, they bringing money to the bar. The bar is a business itself, man.
Yeah,
and it's for profit. They need these hot lawyers like that, nigga, doing a damn thing out there, all on TV. They got so fucking bad though. These motherfucking accident attorneys, they just own all the airwaves. You hear a fucking commercial on TV, is one of these goddamn lawyer commercials.
That's all there is.
They ran the price of an advertiser so high, damn, the only lawyer can damn near afford one. That's what you hear advertising, lawyer. Hoping your ass getting an accident so you coming to get a percentage of your fucking money. Because you don't understand how to fill out paperwork.
Because most shit now.
Goddamn doctors that really, half these motherfuckers really interns working for these goddamn lawyers and shit, giving you massages and shit and charging the fuck out your ass. Getting kickback from these companies to give you that pay them boy to get you the goddamn give them prescription for steroids that you don't even fucking need. Mother fracture their goddamn leg, they want to put pins in you. And these companies give kickbacks.
Yep.
To the hospitals that recommend them. And they pass it on along.
Bad news. Bad news.
That's what I was just saying. Nonetheless, just kind of went in on it. He said that these motherfuckers, like from the top to the bottom, every angle, they fucking with ball, right? And that mean, like, that's what I'm saying, bro. This shit can't have nothing to do. This shit is about power, control, and humiliation. You know what I'm saying? This shit is about. This shit has nothing to do with no fucking money, man. This shit is about humiliating the nigga. I'm gonna get this nigga 100 years, nigga. I just watched the TikTok. It was 3 niggas in a cell. Them niggas between all 3, they had 387 fucking years, bro.
Yeah, I see that shit, man.
You saw that shit? Like, nigga, what is that? Come on, man. Like, yeah, man. Like, these motherfuckers. I don't know. I know, but I don't want to get too spiritual on niggas because.
Man, listen, dog. Back in the fucking days, nigga, us in Israel, nigga, we had whole cities we send these niggas to before they go to court, nigga. And then they call them penal cities. Same thing we did in the United States. They penal colonies. Same thing we did in the goddamn Bible, nigga. For all these niggas.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's when we started this shit, my nigga.
I guess it's a little different when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The fucking rabbit got hold of our gun, nigga.
Hey, it feels a little different.
Yeah, that's it.
But see, you gotta actually know real history and have really took that deep dive to even understand that we was enslaving a girl for a grain of motherfucking sugar.
Exactly, man.
and two grains of salt type shit. Like that's what.
How people did some shit, dog.
Yeah, we were. You ain't lying, man. The most I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a field day with these motherfuckers, cause yeah, man. But it still don't make it feel no better, bro. It still don't make it feel no better, bro.
But it is, though, my nigga. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You can sit there argue, hate all the COs, but fuck, nigga, we put ourselves here. And these motherfuckers been doing this weird shit. We paying for they shit, dog. And every time it's time to come about this motherfucker, we do some shit to make sure we stay in there. Like I'm talking about, like you ever had some fucking kids? You was just about to let their ass off restriction. You come home in and did some more shit.
Man, yeah, I heard you say. You said I was just about to bring you niggas from under the curses. Y'all created another fake god. You niggas did some more shit, huh? Okay, another 25 years.
Start calling ourselves all these weird things. Dishonoring our fathers and our mothers. And wonder why we don't got no rights to the land.
What you say now, your business? That's right. That was our biggest problem. Most High said, stay away from those strange women.
Yeah, he damn sure did, dog. He said, man, you let your sons around them bitches. They gonna start teaching them about these strange gods. And that's real shit. You think about it, dog. When you said that, dog, my fucking passage, dog. That shit damn sure isn't about, man. Peace of none of your business, man. It's hard, but it's fair.
Right.
All right, man. You know, I'm trying to figure this shit out. I'm on my phone. I got some loud ass people over here.
Oh, you was good? You was just you was chilling. Yeah, coach, you was locked out.
Yeah. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was on I'm on my phone now. Yeah, I had a phone call. Man, y'all was going in though. Hey, so what y'all want to do? Y'all want to keep it going a little bit? What y'all want to do?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, man,
I got to hop off for a minute.
I first heard you talk about, man.
I got to make a phone call, but if y'all still on, I'll come back.
Which
I want
video
to go back to
talking
the
about?
shit you started off with, man. When you talk about the ancient one.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, how she fought, got them boys fighting for their land.
Oh yeah.
And then you brought up another court case about what was it about damn. So actually we had the case.
Yeah, that's the same case. Damn, I took that shit down. Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. Where's it at? All the way. No, I ain't got it. 51. Wow. Oh, let me get that real quick. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, there you go.
That's Trump. Yeah, even though if you transfer it from your to your bank account, they're gonna charge you for that.
Get in here. I'm about to reveal one of 7 biggest secrets of North America. And I guarantee you, you need to listen very closely to what I'm about to show you because it's never been shown in this way before. But I'm going to need you to take a screenshot. Take as long as you need, right? Now I'm about to explain what you're seeing right here, right? I'm about to explain what you're seeing, right? So this lady that you're looking at is one of many indigenous peoples or mound builders that went to court, and not the court that you think, right? They got many different secret courts in North America, right? But you just got to find the right one. But she won her case, and here go the year. Now, what's funny about this year, that the United States was forced to sign the 1866 treaty. That's a secret, right? And the courts say that the United States do not own the ancient mound builders of North America much more than 1 million miles. What is 1 million miles? All right, let's start right here. This is 1 million miles. Boom, 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 right? This is 1 million miles, right? So you keep thinking that reparations gonna pay for North America, but they gotta pay for this, that, but not Africa. Why not Africa? Did you catch that? Go and take a screenshot again. And let me say, why not Africa? Take a screenshot. Why not Africa? Because if you say the indigenous mound builders of North America, which is 54 million owners of 1 million miles, look, you can put them in Africa. What we gotta do with Africa? What do we have to do with Africa? Nothing. So if you take all this land and put us in Africa, cool. But there's another secret that's about to blow your mind. That's another secret that they had to bow down. It's another secret, right? Take a screenshot. And while you're taking a screenshot, I'm about to speak. Now, as you can see, the 13th and 14th Amendment, they had the writers in the Constitution. Why would you write somebody from Africa in the Constitution? Now, watch this. Now, in August 19, right, they had the so-called recognize the so-called Afro-American or Afro-Indigenous populations in the Constitution. In Article 2, they had to put them and recognize them. Oh! They did not recognize the so-called Mayans, did they? The Aztecs, did they? Because they're immigrants. So why would you write somebody in the Constitution in North and South America? Why would you do that? Now, I'm about to show you something about to blow your mind. Have you ever heard of this act right here in 1790? It's called the Non-Intercourse Act, where lands and all this and treaties and federal authority don't have no... Man, take a screenshot, bro. This is why Washington, D.C. and the Jews on our ass. This is why the states or no, you know what? I'm gonna have to make a part 2 to show you that what's going on. Man, get in here, get in here, get in here, get in there. I'm about.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Dollars. Mike check. Anybody?
You know, I'm gonna do this. I do this egg day. I got dishes coming out my ass. Forks, knives, my asshole.
I heard you.
Pots, pans.
All right.
Who's that in the background?
Oh, that's my peoples over here, man. I'm actually past my
coming out your asshole.
What up, player?
Yeah, that's my people. My
What's
over
good
here,
with it, OG?
Yeah, I'm already past my deadline. I got other things I got to be taken care of. But if y'all want to keep it going, y'all can. I'm on mute.
No.
I'm good. You can call it. It's up to you.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. All right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to shut it down. We're going to get it in. Appreciate y'all. We're going to be back at it. You know, my bad. You know, it's a little unprofessional of me. But I got to take care of some things. But I think we got a lot of things. We're going to continue this tomorrow, though, for sure. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. All right?
For sure.
All right, now.
All right, brother.
All right, later.
Right.
Let's go, ready to go.
All right, y'all. In a minute. All right, I'll leave it up. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it up for the whole night until the morning. By the time I get started, I'll get it off. All right, y'all. We gonna play this last cut, and after that, we're done.
Vucevic, Pritchard open in the corner, sets, fires, delivers. Peyton Pritchard, his first three-pointer of the night. And a quick timeout call by Nick Nurse. Been some struggles from three-point range, but now both teams knocking them down. And Embiid is shaken up. Done a great stretch, but now looks like he's struggling.
People do anything to make their hair cold. Try viral hacks. Use outdoor fridges. Freezers too. That's why the Coors Light Mountains turn blue. Because people don't just
I'm the
like
coach,
beer.
quotes coded in oak with a ghost loaded focus. Chrome in the coke, king with the cloak, smoking that hocus pocus. Infinite styles, pivot and pile up the mileage. I'm wild with the science. You see the line on my avatar, I draw pride. I to devour the silence. Why you niggas steady lying? Got me laughing hard, satire and fraud. I fire the squad. Why is it cross when I'm sparring with all the guards? Also a bar, carving a mark in the bulk of the market at large. Target the sharks, hard of a Spartan. I sharpen the margin with bars. You rather bargain and dodge. I'd rather you come get your taxes done. Black suit, back room, facts in a stack and relaxing the maximum. Get out of the pocket, the profit of rocking, then I just might tax you punks. Racking your funds, stacking in chunks, reacting to acid and begging to punch. Sometimes my community hard-headed, scarred, dreading the lessons. I chart-head and start spreading the message, embedded in pressure. Sobbing living, I'm private with it, no corporate percentage. The shark in death with a pin stroke, you still don't notice the vision. I've been telling y'all you don't want to debate me, weighty and ready. Great with machetes, linguistically shredding the petty. Grab these 15 acres, Landscape major, plan made paper, land, patent, stamped, and sacred. Since my campaign greater, I ain't talking about Ice-T when I say that I can show you law and order. Court recorder, I sort the torture, contort the border. I eat the case, beat the state, leave a trace in a raw supporter. Briefcase aura, got your baby mama thinking that I'm a lawyer. Seminole Indian sentiment, militant on Summer and Sawyer. Private enrollment, tribal component. I'm the boss, you trying to employ him.
Pritchard had it, lost it, Edgecombe has it, Maxey tries another. The rebound goes to Tatum, and a loose ball foul's going to go against Boston. Drummond got knocked down. Garza with the foul. So first foul on Garza, third team foul. Gave him a nudge just as he was jumping off the floor. I'm not sure Andre Drummond has a chance at that rebound.